Okay. Literally, you know me. You can hear. Thank you, SPJ. All right. So you know me. I'm a thinker, and I know you're a thinker too. And you said to clarify what you said yesterday. You were like, one of the things that annoys me about fighting games, this is you, is the fact that the prize for winning neutral often seems to be just mix. I win neutral and I can force my opponent to guess, or if I lose neutral, all of a sudden I immediately have to guess. And you didn't like that. And in my mind, at least, perhaps this might be my flawed understanding. That's fighting games. You lose neutral, and then you have to guess. And so you seem to be proposing an alternative, right, or in a different way. And I want to understand, what is that? Like, what in your ideal dream fighting game, right? When you win neutral, what do you win? If not the ability to make your opponent guess.
In my ideal fighting game, it would be a variety. Sure. I don't mind it. I don't mind mix being the reward.
Sure.
I just don't want everyone's reward to be mixed.
I hear you.
Very boring.
Okay.
For context, if I give you the origin story, you might understand a little bit more.
Sure.
So, the first, my kind of launch pad into fighting games was watching Juicebox explain footsies. I don't know if you've seen that video.
I know Juicebox. I might have seen that at some point. Yeah, but go on.
Yeah, it's anyone who plays fighting games should watch that video. It's hella old, but he basically breaks down the concept of footsies through Street Fighter 4 with a bunch of characters.
Sure.
When I got kind of brain blasted by the concept of, oh my gosh, there's a mind game between pressing buttons and blocking and walking, blah 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 blah.
Lol.
I was playing Bison and Street Fighter 4.
Okay.
Mix was not a mix to me. That wasn't the thing.
Right.
It's Bison. It's just mids. Mids, frame traps, throw. So I looked at his footsies guide and was like, okay, I can do this. I've got walk speed. I've got good buttons.
Okay.
It's a skill issue if I can't win.
Sure.
Then obviously I started playing the game. I was like, wow, I'm playing against Viper. She's winning neutral and I'm losing 50%.
Yeah.
When I hit in neutral, I have to do 3 1-frame links, crash short, into scissor kick, and I'm doing 5%. And I was like, you know what? Fine. I like Bison enough to deal with the win condition not being that good.
Sure.
That's fine.
Okay.
Then I played Guilty Gear. I don't know if you know Leo in Guilty Gear.
Yeah, that motherfucker.
Yeah. So his thing is, his neutral win is I go into back turn.
Yeah, back turn shit with the swords. Yeah. I fucked that character. Yeah, I remember.
I played him because aesthetically he looks like a Saiyan. That's it.
Yeah,
I hate the game plan. I despise it. I like Sonic Booms and Flash Kick because that's controlling space.
Sure.
His win condition though is mixed.
Get in a mix.
Super cringe.
100%.
Block.
Get in a mix. Yeah, 100%.
It's boring because I would play neutral someone, feel good that I won, then steamroll them with mix and feel anyone could have done this. I could have done this with my feet. There was no skill past the footsie element.
Okay. Hold on. Let me pause you for a second, right? Because again, to my mind and to a lot of people, but if you say that there's no skill beyond the footsie element, but that's the game. You won the game, so then you get to force him to mix. I think it sounds to me like you earned the right to make him guess for his life. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not like you teleport halfway across the screen, right? You won the footsie game. He fucked up. If he didn't stop the jumping or he didn't stop the whatever, right? And now you get to make him guess. So why is that? Or you're saying that that's okay, but like not ideal. That's not your dream.
Yeah, that's not my dream.
Gotcha.
I think so. When I do mostly anything in my life, even when it comes to games and character select,
sure,
I think to my ancestors and my parents and go, would they be proud of this decision?
This motherfucker. Okay. All right.
Would Mummy C4 be proud that I win neutral once, then won the rest of the game by doing derpy high-lows?
Okay,
I don't think you should be that proud.
I see.
So I don't mind getting one mix, but because it's Guilty Gear and the mix leads into more mix.
It's mixed into Oki, into okay. I see. It's different.
No mix goes into. I haven't seen a mix that leads into full screen.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. I mean, I guess, arguably, maybe Zangief in Street Fighter 6, because he does the, if you don't see Street Fighter 6, like he does the power bomb and then he fucking jumps back, right? Like as part of the animation. So it's kind of like you get it and now you have to win neutral again. So there is ways it can be done, but you're right. Typically speaking, I win the mix once and then you wake up into my fucked up Oki situation and you have to guess again. So yeah, you're right.
I will say this. I don't want to go on a tangent.
No, go.
I'm in two minds to think if a command grab is footsies or mix.
Interesting. That is a tangent. We'll come back to it. We'll put a pin in that for now. But yeah, that is a good question. That's a good question.
Cool. So yeah, I've gone from Bison. No, my reward is 10%. No mix. Go back to neutral. Win again. 15 times to win the round. Then to Leo, where I have to win neutral once and I can win.
I just guess 42.
Then I played Marvel and I played Hawkeye. Now Hawkeye literally has no mix. He's got a really slow low, and his hop doesn't give him like a fast overhead. So I would get a knockdown and backdash and put a trap on the screen, which is like it's called Explosion Rose, where it was like this part of the screen, if you walk into it, you have to block. And as someone who's zoning, that's good because that makes your approach readable.
Sure.
It's easier to go, okay, you've blocked this Exploding Rose, I can either put another rose in or I can jump over you to get screen advantage, something like that. So I don't mind, well, I like frame advantage as my result for winning neutral. For me to like dictate the pace of the game. That's what I was saying about, I want frame data as a reward is fine. Frame, like you said, most time frame data leads to meaty, oaky, or unblockable.
That was my question to you, right? Because you were like, I want to. That's where I became even more fascinated because you were like, okay, I want frame advantage, but in my mind, again, this might be Tekken brain roll. Plus frames are only as advantageous as like the mix I get afterwards, right? Because in Tekken, for example, if I have +5, the reason it's so scary is because now, like, I can either hit you with the mid or the low, and you can't interrupt, right? Like that. So the plus frames are powerful because I get to enforce my mix. So when you say, well, I don't really want mix, I want plus frames, in my mind, I was like, those two things seem kind of interchangeable. What good are plus frames if there isn't a guessing game situation? Like,
the only way I can explain it in a 3D realm is say you're trying to play for time.
Sure.
And you get a knockdown, and you go, well, there's no point in me trying to kill. I've got the life lead. There's only like 4 seconds left.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this frame advantage to back up.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. No, that does still make sense. So it's kind of like, I want the frame advantage so that I can go back into my preferred range. It's like, I want to be at range 5 the whole game, but naturally you're going to try and close the gap on me. And so my prize for winning neutral is to return to my preferred range.
Yes.
I get you. Okay.
It's like a broader sense of advantage, where advantage, like you said, is more, I want to keep my advantage on you.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want advantage in the broader aspect of like, I want choice. For me, advantage is choice.
Sure. Then okay. So then I'm kind of starting to see what you mean, but I still have a fundamental question, right? Because like, you still need a mix-up. You kind of think into that mix-up, right? And it sounds to me like as a ranged character, your mix-up happens in the neutral.
I think it's fine to say footsies is mix-up.
No, wait, hang on. What? Hang on, what? Like, okay, I guess it sounds like we need to define our term, right? Oh, let me tell you what I'm thinking, right? When I'm thinking of a mix-up, it's like this, okay. You're the defender for this whole thing. We're just going to defend, right? And I'm going to attack you. If I only have one vector of an attack, and you can perfectly defend against it, like I can only do highs, and then we don't have a game because you can just stand block, right? It's only when you introduced a low that stand blocking can't stop that we now kind of have a fighting game. Because if you can just perfectly defend all my stuff, then we don't have a fighting game, right?
I disagree.
Okay.
No, I disagree because Bison is literally that. Bison in Street Fighter 4, not now because they've given him a command grab. He had mids that had really far range. He had jump-ins, but his low was super short.
Was it a sliding one?
The way he did have a slide. I guess, technically he did have a low. It's... is it reactable? I can't remember. I'll say it's not reactable. But if you get the slide, you get a left-right, an unsafe left-right mix with Psycho Crusher. That was it.
Cool.
You don't get a combo or anything.
Right.
So when I think the element of mix in footsies is between poke, counter poke, and frame trap. That's how I see footsies. It's just those 3 elements. Poke, counter poke, frame trap. So with Bison, He's got walk speed and pokes. That is his mix. His mix is you can look for the poke that's got long range, but because my walk speed is so fast, you can't discern whether I'm going to go for another poke or walk throw.
But then here's my question, right? If I'm to hear you tell it, because I didn't play Street Fighter 4 like that. I played it, but I was a scrub. I didn't know nothing about frame there, no skill, no nothing. I was just mashing, right? And then watching my cross, right? But like, if let's say I'm holding down back, right? I'm holding down back, and I'm Bison, and then every time you jump in the air, I stand up, right, to block the aerial, and then every time you're on the ground, I hold down back. To hear you tell it, you can't open me up. To hear you tell it, like there's nothing you can do to stop me.
I can't mix you up. I can't mix you up.
No, but like no, you say you can't mix me up. No, you can. But how can you open me up without mixing me? Because if I'm able to accurately predict what you're going to do, because you only have one option, then you can't open me up. You can't open me up without a mix.
Okay. So if we peel back the veil,
sure,
there is technically you are correct because you can just block.
Sure.
With the element of time, if I've hit you, that means I've got the life lead.
Sure.
You are forced to press a button. You have to press a button to win.
Sure, but again, you're right. And in a real match, that's how it would go down, right? But let's pretend we're supercomputers, right? So I'm just like, what's to stop me from just blocking and Bison all the way through?
Me having the life lead.
Okay, but let's say you don't have the life lead. The round has started, and I'm just blocking the whole time. So I just do. So like, it sounds like M Bison's trash then.
I would say so, but I'll be biased.
It sounds like a bad character. It sounds like because at that point, yeah, if perfect defense exists against your character, then your character's bad. Because obviously the best players in the world are gonna do that defense, right? And just like not do anything. So it sounds like your character only works once he's already had the life lead. But like the point is, like, what if you don't have the life lead?
I would say.
Go on.
I would say you are correct when you're talking about supercomputers. Yes. But with humans, it doesn't work like that. I agree with you. Human error and the intuition for me to walk forward and a real human being not to try and throw, I don't think it exists. I just don't think it exists.
Sure.
Yeah. So Bison works when we're not playing with brainiacs. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean by it's a bad character. Yeah, he's a character who only works. He's a character whose strength is directly proportional to your opponent's ignorance.
And that's why I like that character.
That's a definition of a bad character. Because if my character only works if you're dumb, then my character's dumm. Not dumb. My character's bad. Yeah, my character's bad.
His strength lies on human nature, which is bad.
It's a bad character. Yeah.
Good characters rely on mechanical 50-50s.
A good character. Yeah, but this is my point, and I think game design, despite the fact that we talk a lot about how game design, fighting games have gone cheaper or whatever, or like not as good or whatever, I do think that a lot of design wisdom has gone forward, and I think as someone who's played a lot of fighting games, we both have. It seems clear to me that I don't think you can have a strong character without having mix. And I think what opened my eyes up the most of this was For Honor. I don't know if did you ever play For Honor when that game first came out?
I've watched it.
Okay.
I've watched it.
So,
I never played it though.
Okay, so you don't need to have played it, but I'll post like a video showing when that game first came out. It was atrocious defensively. The reason for that is because every single attack in the game was reactable, like you could visually see, and the guard break was even more generous than most, like the Tekken guard breaks, right? So a semi-competent player could just be unhittable. So what ended up happening is that competitive level For Honor became fucking staring contests. Because like you were just waiting for your opponent to swing and then you could parry, right? But like you would never swing yourself. The most dangerous thing you could do is attack, right? And the game was just one that incentivized just staring at each other. And there were some characters who had like unblockable moves that were like do a tiny bit of damage, and those characters became the best characters in the game, right? Because they were the ones that had readable offense. But the point is, it showed me very quickly, like, oh, if you have a character who all of their things can be defended against with knowledge, like that character sucks. That character actually doesn't have a strong offense because that character could only work against ignorant opponents or opponents who haven't labbed, haven't really done the research. And I think at the highest level, games like that or characters like that will fail, and a game like that will fail. So a part of me kind of thinks that every character needs to have some sort of mix. And in fact, when I go from a fighting game to another fighting game, in fact, I'm playing Virtua Fighter now, right? I often find myself going like, okay, I want to learn Pi, for example. I go, what is Pai's mix, right? What is the situation she does where I have to force her to guess between two options, right? And like, only once I get that do I understand what this character is trying to do, which is why when you were like, oh, you know, I don't really, I prefer to have characters who don't have mix. I was like, but if you have characters who don't have mix, then you'll just lose, and the only people you'll beat are people who are dumb, and like, or people who are suboptimal, like either intentionally or unintentionally suboptimal. I'm like, that's gonna suck, because in a sense, it's almost like I'm not winning, my opponent is losing. Do you get what I'm saying? My opponent has to give me the win.
I agree with you, and I think that's just a element of how games are being made. I don't think that's a necessity. Okay. I used to think it was a necessity.
Sure.
Because I think when you look at fighting games, there's like maybe it's like an urge to be like, how you win at fighting games.
Sure.
I mean, everyone like looks at a match and goes, how did that person win? Or how do I win?
Sure.
I don't want to say it's a hump, because there's nothing wrong with that. I've gone too far down the rabbit hole, and I'm like, I don't want to lose. That's what I care about. I care about not losing.
Sure.
But the elements of games don't really reward you or want you to do that, mostly because of like spectating, very boring. Yeah. But with your like summary, it's like, okay, if I was making a game and I've got a Bison character and I've got a mixed character, Sea Viper.
Yeah.
To balance out the playing field and to avoid what you were saying is the problem, which I agree with, make Bison's normals do chip. So I've got Poke.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So that's the way around.
You give me the life lead because you can't just keep blocking my.
Yes. That would work. That would work. Yeah. That would make sense. I mean, because it seems to me, because you described a model earlier that was a little bit different to mine. From my understanding of fighting games, and this holds true in pretty much every fighting game I've ever played, 2D, 3D, whatever, is there are really three phases, right? You have neutral, pressure, and Oki, right?
Neutral, pressure,
in
that order, yeah?
Not necessarily in that order, but those are the three phases. And I feel like in any fighting game, you're always in one of those three phases. So, for example, when a round starts, I am, 0 frame advantage or disadvantage, you have 0 frame advantage, we're in neutral, right? And I'm trying to gain advantage while simultaneously not being put at disadvantage, right? That's neutral, right? In any given game, right? And there's a way you can win that. The classic, the indie game footsies, right? Like that's a classic example of that, right? Where we're going back and forth, and I'm trying to maybe make you whiff something, and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get you. That's how I get my advantage there. Like there's the neutral dance, and I love the neutral phase. It's actually probably my favorite phase in a lot of fighting games. Not always, but in a lot of fighting games. Then you have the pressure phase, right? The pressure phase is like one person has either real advantage or perceived advantage, right? Like they're in someone's face and one person's attacking, one person's blocking, right? And so that's the pressure phase. And a lot of people seem to like that phase. I don't really like that phase too much, but a lot of people seem to like that phase, right? And then you have Oki. One person's been knocked down, and so they're applying pressure, and the other person getting up, trying to get up correctly, right? I feel like those are the three phases. I guess we can add a fourth for like combos, like one of you's knocked in the air and like you're just doing the things. But I don't really count combos because that's just whatever. A computer can do that. Like it's just whatever, right? But these are the three phases. And I think that your favorite fighting game tends to be the game that gives you the greatest amount of reward in your favorite phase. So it seems to me that because you love neutral, you want the games where the greatest reward is gained in neutral. The initial hit is what like gets me the majority of my reward. I don't really want to win because I have godlike set play and kill you on Oki. I don't really want to win because I put you in this pressure situation where you now have to guess between mid and low. I want to win because I successfully made you whiff and I punched the fuck out of you, or like I tempted you into jumping at me and I anti-aired you. Do you know what I mean? Like you want to win the neutral thing and then win the match because you won neutral, right? Which is valid. But I would argue that all modern fighting games kind of need all three. And yeah, and also modern fighting games have really skimped on the neutral phase in favor of the pressure phase. I think that's where we are kind of in sync, because we see a lot of like, why I block this mid? Why am I having to guess? Like I block. Like you're meant to block the mids. I block the mid. Now I have to guess. Like this sucks. I don't feel like I'm having to guess for the right reasons. Whereas by contrast, if you walk forward but then walk back, I try and hit you, I whiff, and then you hit me, right? And I'm like, okay, now I'm -7 and I have to guess. I feel a lot better about that personally. So I'm like, well, I whiffed. It didn't come out of nowhere, right? You kind of earned that, right? So to me, the culprit of modern gaming is not the existence of mix or even winning mix from neutral. It's more a case of, okay, how much of my health bar, how much of the average health bar is lost on account of mix, and how much of an average health bar is lost on account of neutral. I think that's kind of where we're kind of in agreement, because your ideal game would be like, no, if I'm better at you neutral, I'm going to take away most of your health. Whereas what happens a lot now is like, I'm playing better neutral than you, but you get in once. You get in once. And then force me to guess. I guess wrong, I'm knocked down, and then I have to guess on Oki, I guess wrong again. I'm like, oh, man, this kind of sucks.
So, I think I agree with pretty much everything you said. I would like paraphrase it, be like, yeah, the dopamine hit for me, and I would say most people is with punishing.
Sure.
Everyone gets a dopamine hit from that. I would like all my games to be that.
Sure.
You're saying it needs to lead into mix for the rewards of getting the dopamine hit.
No, yeah, kind of. I mean, a couple things to challenge on. One, I don't think everyone gets the dopamine hit from with punishing. I do. We're of the similar animals, but I know plenty of people who will mix for life. Like, Zangief players been mixing since 91. They don't give a fuck about whiff punishing. They want to make you guess. And they feel great by taking a risky guess and being right. You know what I mean? That's what they live for. So different people get dopamine for different things in fighting games, which is a key thing to keep in mind.
Really quick on that.
Yeah, go on.
That's the element that makes me think grappling is footsies, because it is risky. It's not mixed.
No, but this is what I'm getting at. I'm with you. This is what I'm getting into. This is where I think we're in agreement. We both think of mix as dirty. Therefore, we feel that if you're going to be a mixed character, you need to be risking your entire life to do it. And I'm with you. I'm with you. And this is actually one of the big things. Oh, go on.
Let me do the commentary, commentary brain.
Yeah, go.
For me, there's a difference between a 50-50 and mix.
Oh, what? Okay, new terms. All right. Let's hear it.
So 50-50 for me is literal. Like 50-50 is you.
Heads or tails?
In Tekken, yeah. I'm trying to think of a Tekken. It wouldn't be in Tekken because the lows are faster than the mids.
No. Sometimes it's frame. Sometimes it's literally just 15 frame mid, 15 frame low. Yes. Sometimes it is that simple.
Okay. That's a 50-50.
Yeah.
That's a 50-50. If the low and the overhead hit the same frame, to me that's a 50-50 because you can't fuzzy block it.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It's guess.
Yes, you should have to guess. Yeah.
Mix has elements of like educated guessing, fuzzy blocking. I don't know, tech. Like in tag games, there's always tech around mix-ups.
Sure.
50-50s, there is no option. And the thing that they both share is your only option is to block or in-bowl move.
Sure.
To me, is what mix is. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I hear you, and I had a similar debate with Hopper just the other day on his channel. And like people being like, oh, there's a difference in mixes and 50-50s and guesses. And for me, when I use a term, not all mixes are 50-50s, but all 50-50s are mixes in my mind. The term mix is the catch-all umbrella term for a situation where I have to guess. I have to make a defensive read, and there is no option I can do to cover all possible options. That to me is a mix. So a 50-50 is a version of a mix. So I literally only have two options. Whereas if there's a third option, but that too can be beaten. So I have like, let's say mid, low, or sidestep, right? But, you know, if I sidestep, I get caught by the low. But if I crouch, I get caught by the blah, blah, blah. That's still a mix. It's not a 50-50 because there's more than two options, but it's still a mix. So for me, what I'm really saying is that I think all fighting games need mix. They don't necessarily need to be as binary 50-50, but like, they can't be perfectly defendable. But where we seem to agree is that, okay, but like mix isn't really satisfying classically for us. So we want, if you're going to have the mixed playstyle, the mixer should be taking a massive risk. And I think one of the biggest differences between T7 and T8, ironically, is that T7 actually kind of agreed with us, at least initially. Mixes have always existed in Tekken, but they were so risky for the mixer. Like, the risk reward was always like, you couldn't win by playing just running mix the whole time. Because the odds were just against you. Because you would get X amount of reward for being right, but then like, if you were wrong once, you just lost 50% health. You're like, oh, fuck, right? So you have to be a lot smarter than that. Go on.
Unsafe mix.
Really unsafe mix. It's kind of similar to Zangief's situation. Like Zangief is like, it's very annoying when you get fucked up by Zangief, but he's risking his life though. Do you know what I mean? Because you know, if I do one jump in, you're eating the most powerful combo I have at my disposal, right? But if he's right, you take 60 damage. So it's high risk. So it's frustrating, but you kind of be like, in the checks and balances of the universe, it checks out, right? But imagine if Zangief had still the powerful throw, but like he recovered fast enough that he could also anti-air when you jumped him. Or even if he couldn't anti-air, he could like, he could block comfortably. You'd be like, this kind of sucks. Because like heads I win, tails you lose. Yeah. Like it's I think it's more about how rewarding we want mix to be. And I think, increasingly fighting games have become more and more rewarding to mix, like consequence-free mix. Like in Street Fighter 6, I only played it for a bit. I played it enough to get master and be like, I never want to play this game again, right? But like, I wanted to understand, right? Okay. I wanted to understand the game, right? Before I shit on it. But like, the thing that I found so frustrating was like, motherfuckers on the opposite, and I'm guilty of this too. I was playing Kimberly, Rushdown Queen, right? So she's very much the Leon of Street Fighter, right? So I'm on one side of the screen. My opponent flashes green, runs at me, but I managed to react in time and block. I go, okay, cool. But now I'm -5. I'm like, fuck, I got to block. Right? Oh, I've got to guess between the strike and the throw. And I'm like, I hate that I've put in this situation because I didn't do anything wrong. It's very different to when, let's say I'm in neutral and my opponent does a jumping attack and I block the jumping attack. And now I have to guess. I'm actually okay with that because I could have anti-aired you and I should have anti-aired you, but I didn't. So in a sense, you earned them, or you risked your life to go, or no, maybe not a life, but you risked a lot to come in for the mix and I failed to do the thing. And so, I earned it. So I got salty about drive rush in a way that I didn't about jumping attacks. I think a lot of people feel this way. And
neutral skip.
Yeah, it's neutral. Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. It's neutral skip. And it's very frustrating. And it would probably be forgivable if the rewards you got for, like you said, for winning neutral were greater than the rewards you got from fucking drive rush mix. But they're not. You can lose neutral all day and then just like get one good lucky crouching medium into drive rush into level 3 and I'm like, well, fuck your neutral, I guess. And
on top of that, I think the traditional 1v1 2D fighters lost their way because of team elements. Team games.
Tell them again. Speak on that.
1v1 lost their way because they tried to draw in elements from tag games, team games, whatever you want to call it. It's my thing. I love team games. And I remember having a conversation with a guy called Heapski in Guilty Gear. And I said to him, well, in team games, you win neutral by forcing your opponent to block.
Yeah.
In 1v1 games, you win neutral by hitting them.
Yeah.
That's changed now.
Yeah.
In 1v1 games, you win neutral for making a block because most things are plus or safe.
Yeah.
That never used to be the case.
Yeah.
Things used to be punishable on block. So when you threw out poke, you'd be in that risk. Now, Drive Rush is the SSJ version of that concept. And that's why it's pretty annoying to people because it's a quote unquote skip neutral. Obviously, you can see it. Maybe you can't react. But on block, you're at advantage. So you didn't win neutral. You also didn't lose it. If you block my Drive Rush attack, I'm plus, so it's still my turn. If you get hit with it, I'm rewarded with more frames to do a stronger combo than I would have if I'd done the normal attack regularly. That I don't like Drive Rush for the same reason. I think it's and it's a passive building meter, and you start with it. And it's a spectator game. Want the oh my gosh, I can't believe he did that element to it. That's why it's not my thing.
No,
but
it's true.
I agree with you.
No, that's so true. And I'm wow, I hadn't actually put those pieces together at all. I hadn't thought about I blame Yipes, man. I blame Yipes. Because Yipes, I blame Marvel. I blame these motherfuckers because they make that game seem so hype. And I guess they convinced everyone that like that's what we want all fighting games to be like. It's like no, like because that game I like to watch other people enjoy that game. I never want to play that game ever in my life. That game seems fucking crazy. But yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. Like it was the act of making people. You win neutral by you win in those games. You win neutral by if I successfully make you block. That's it. I've won neutral. Whereas historically, like no, it's not enough to make me block something. You have to hit me, then you get. That's so true. That shit. Yeah, that's a great summation.
Around it.
Yeah.
Elements around it is what they missed out. In Marvel, you lose for blocking because win condition in that is your mobility. If you're blocking, you don't have the mobility. You still have push block, which is okay. But it's riddled with 50-50s, not mix-ups, 50-50s.
Yeah.
That's why you lost for blocking. In 1v1 games, you don't have the 50-50, you can't air block, and mobility is not as extreme. You don't have IEDs for the most part in like Street Fighter games. So that's why blocking shouldn't have been like, oh, lose condition. It should have been careful. Now we're entering the footsie part.
Yeah.
Now do you walk away? But you can't walk away because they can stop you from walking because of proximity normals.
Yeah.
They can go for a sliding low, blah, 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 blah. They can go for a jump in. Now you can't walk back to block the cross up. But yeah, they've added too many plus frames. Where in Street Fighter 4, I love Bison's like, oh, scissor kick is safe. Most things aren't safe. They've either got a gap or the punch one block. They've just made everyone scissor kick. Everyone scissor kick on crack because scissor kick was just safe. Now people are like, oh, it's scissor kick and it's my turn.
Yeah. It's Street Fighter 6 Bison. I was like, what is this character? Like, yeah, there were moves. I'm like, why is this? What do you mean that's safe? What do you mean that's plus? What do you mean? There was a lot of that. Yeah, that's such an interesting. Damn, you've given me even more to think about. Man, the fighting game philosophy the mainstream fighting game philosophy has been winning neutral means if I make you block, I've won neutral. I hadn't even thought of it that simply, but that really does seem to be the philosophy. And there are very few games that push back on that. That's so interesting. Because even Tekken 7, as time went on, was slowly starting to reach that. And then Tekken 8 was like the full sort of realization of that in the Tekken franchise, and it is leading into more franchises. I really hope Virtua Fighter 6 does not take that into consideration, because Virtua Fighter 5, for all of its faults, both players are constantly passing their turnover. Like if I do something to you and you block it, it is your turn. And so in a weird way, even though there's a lot of decision making, what I love most about the game is that for every single move, you kind of have a three-way flowchart that goes into your head. What do I do if this move hits? What do I do if this move counter hits? And what do I do if this move is blocked, right? And so it actually makes the gameplay a lot more dynamic, because I do a thing, and then I'm like, oh shit, he blocked it, and then I'm going to sidestep. Or he did a thing, or I'm going to block. And the thing is, no option you do is safe. Sidestepping is dangerous because if he does a tracking move, he'll counter hit me. It counts as a counter hit if he catches you in movement. So then that's dangerous. But I can't just sit here and block because he can throw me. And it's not like Tekken where I can react to throws. And there are throws in this game that can do like 60 damage, or wolves that can do 50% of your fucking health, right? So it's like, there's no... but I love it, right? The point is that there's no option you can do that is safe. And like I said, like, you know, like I said, there's throws that you can do that do 50% of your damage, your health. Is crazy, but all strikes beat throws. So if I read that you're going to go for that big throw, I can just do my slowest fucking launcher. Like the biggest dick launcher out there. And like, oh, you went for, even though frame wise, your throw should connect first because I'm striking, I'm basically throw invincible. I launch you and do a bunch of damage. So there's no option anyone can ever do that is perfectly safe. So you're just constantly guessing, right? Which sounds bad, right? But the thing is, because you're both doing it, and because risks are accrued on both sides, it's a lot of fun. And what ends up happening very quickly, far quicker than in most games, is that you stop playing the character and you start playing the person. Like you very quickly have to be like, what kind of asshole are you? Like you're -5 now. Are you gonna, but you might mash. And again, unlike in other games where mashing is kind of like a scrubby thing to do, like mashing is absolutely valid. Because again, blocking's not safe. There's no safe option. So why not mash, right? So a lot of what you're doing is trying to figure out like, what kind of person are you? Are you the kind of person that's going to respect the frames and play neat and tidy? Or are you the kind of person who's going to force the issue? Are you going to try to evade constantly? Like what? And trying to figure out. It's why it's the best, because I just love it so much, because you really do spend more time playing against the person. And to be fair, all fighting games become this once you reach a certain level. But Virtua Fighter reaches this point a lot sooner than a lot of other games. And it's something that I feel really bummed out about, because a lot of people never get to that stage in a fighting game. Do you know what I mean? Because it takes time to get to that point where we're playing each other as people. You know what I mean? It requires both of you to be very knowledgeable about the system and each other's characters, and it's tough.
I think some characters can get you there faster. So that kind of like, it's kind of cringe. But Buddhist mentality would be like, oh, there is no matchups. It's just players. Sure. Yeah, and I felt that with Leo. I literally told people like, oh, there would be like, how do you do with this matchup? And I was like, I just got to be right once. I've got to be smarter than you one time,
yeah.
and my character allows me to win for that.
Yeah, I hear that. I
had no bad matchups. I had bad neutral situations. I did. If my ability to play is stronger than your mechanic or your brain or whatever, and I get one hit, every matchup's 5-5.
Sure.
Because the 50-50 works half the time.
Sure.
But I think Leo got me there quicker.
Yes,
Bison didn't get me there. Bison did not get me there. Bison made me go like, I'm not doing as much damage as this person. When I get a knockdown, I don't get a left-right. I just have to win the same way over and over again. And I didn't mind that because it was a dopamine hit. It was constant dopamine hits.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't teach me like the player versus player aspect because I was too busy fighting the mechanics.
But here's my question: it was your time with Bison first, and then Leon, right?
Yeah, Street Fighter 4 Bison.
Yeah. So here's the thing: how much of that do you reckon was a case of the game's fault or the character's fault, and how much of it was just like, well, you were a more sophisticated fighting game player by the time you reached Leon? Do you know what I mean? Because everyone's kind of very clumsy in their first competitive fighting game because you're still learning the ropes. Well, when you go into your next fighting game, even if you're a complete noob, you come into it with a certain amount of sophistication. You kind of know a lot of pitfalls to avoid. So how much of that sort of speed increase was a case of I lost my sort of FGC naivety with Street Fighter 4, and then you were able to come into Guilty Gear more quickly? Or do you think it really truly was just the nature of the game / character that allowed you to get there quicker with Leon and Guilty Gear?
I think it was a case of that. The what you mentioned. On top of that, I would say it felt like I was training with weighted clothing when I was playing Bison.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm playing Bison and now I'm playing Leo. IAD is kind of a big body.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh, I've got a reversal now. So when people knock me down, I'm not just escaping and having to spend bar. I've got a meatless way for them to respect me. So I think there's elements of like the tools I had, the mechanics of the game. But before that, I played Marvel 3. And I was numb. I think that probably made the biggest impact. I was numb because I would block, then I'd get mixed, and then I would get mixed on incoming. So it was a case of I lost neutral one time and I lose 3 characters.
Yeah.
Because someone flipped the coin at me and I didn't call it in time.
Yeah.
That's it. And I liked Marvel so much, I just got numb to how ridiculous that as a fighting game is.
Yeah.
I can look back at it and go, that's cool. But if I was to grade like competitive nature in fighting games, that is the worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Yeah. It's interesting.
It's all counterintuitive. It's like you lost 2 characters, now your last character has the strength of my 3 because of X Factor. Why should I start winning then? That doesn't make any sense. And then I watch Chris G, and that sent me on the road to, I don't want to win. I just don't want to lose. I don't want to lose to bullshit. I want to learn how to control bullshit in every game I play.
That's so true. That is so true. And I think, how many people do you think are like us though? What percentage of people you think like, I come to fighting games to defeat my opponents and feel like a big dick man? And what percentage of people is like, I like to come into a chaotic system and like fucking, tame it? Because I feel that. For me, what I like about, Tekken or 3D fighting. Why I like 3D fighting games more than 2D fighting games is because they are so much harder to tame inherently. Because there's so much more that could be happening. So many more moves, so many more variables. And so learning to tame that feels fucking dope. You feel like a super genius, right? But like, I think a lot of people are like, I don't really want that. I just want to do the big move and for it to say you win. Like, what percentage do you reckon? Yeah.
I think 98.7% of people want to be given out the questions. Yeah. And we are the small percentage that want to answer the questions.
Yeah.
That's how I play.
Yeah.
Some people that want to be the taskmaster and give out the exams.
Yeah.
And we are the silly morons that want to go, no, I want to figure out how to beat you. Other people are like, I just want to beat you and move on.
Man, it's you're speaking my language. I had this I had this actually when I came back to I stopped playing Tekken 8 for season 2 and I came back because there's been a bunch of patches, right? And I was like, I haven't actually given it a shot since these patches, and some people were saying like, oh, the game's fixed now. So I came back and I played Xiaoyu, who's not historically my main, but she's the character I find the most interesting in Tekken 8 because has the most defensive tools, right? And the way you framed it is actually perfect, where it's like, I want a character who has the most answers, right? You pose tough questions, you give me great threats, but I have the answer. I love that feeling. That's what gives me my endorphin rush. You do this thing, you do this mid-high string, but I know it's a high string. I go under and I kill you for it, right? That's what that gives me my Johnnies, right? So someone in the chat, he's lying, he's Ling Main, fuck you. But like, so I'm playing and like, I realize I set myself the goal of reaching Tekken God, and I did it, and it was tough. It was really tough. And one of the things I realized is that I'm playing the character in this game who probably has more answers than any other character in this game. Great punishment, you know, an 8-frame button in a game where most characters' fastest move is 10 frames. AOP infamous for being able to sidestep and go under mids in situations like just the answer queen. And yet I was like, but I actually don't think she's that strong in this game, because even though she has the most answers, the number of threats is too great. It's too great. Like, you cannot have enough answers for the number of threats in this game, such that actually, if you want to do well in this game, it's not about picking the character or mastering the character who has the best answers. It's about having the biggest threats. Like, you don't try to like meet the threats with answers. You need to meet the threats with bigger threats, faster threats. And I kind of realized that, because I'm like, well, if I can't really develop a solid defensive game plan with Xiaoyu, then we're done. Like, we're done. Because if she can't do it, it can't no one, right? And obviously, if I was more cracked, it would be a lot easier. So it's not that, you know, it's not like, oh, the character's weak. Like, obviously, there are people who play the character who are at the highest level. But the point is, it's like, work to reward ratio was crazy. It was just crazy. And you have this situation where it's like we said before in 2D games, like I'm winning neutral more. I have to win neutral more often than not. And then, but then my opponent gets the one launch, right? Gets the one launch, and then I'm wall exploded and I'm fucking dead. And even that, I'm being a little bit hypocritical, because even I realized that a lot of the times when I would win, wasn't because I won neutral, it's because when Xiaoyu gets the force mix at the wall, she's just as much of a war criminal as everyone else, right? So so even she's guilty of it, right? And so it just made me realize that there's no fixing this. Like there's no, I need to stop trying to switch characters and just stop playing, because it's not the character I'm playing. It's the nature of the game. I'm an answers player, and this is not an answers game. This is a threats game. You have things like that.
I think most games aren't like that anymore. It's in like debate form. It's like, we like rebuttals. We like to rebuttal people.
Totally.
But that's tiring.
Yes.
I tried to say this to people, and I don't think people are honest. You will probably be honest. If someone came up to you and said, "Oh, I'm a flat earther," prove to me that the world is round.
Yeah.
We know the Earth is round.
It'd be tough, though.
But to actually rebuttal someone who's done a lot of research into why the Earth is flat, it's hard. But you know what most people do? They go, "You're stupid." That is the other people. Yes. They're the people that are like, "These are my tools. You show me the answer. I don't need to deal with your answers if you can't answer mine."
Yeah. And
we are trying to constantly rebuttal people. Mm-hmm. Everyone else is like, "I'm proposing something to you. Can you answer it? Can you rebuttal it? No, you lose."
And I find that so frustrating. And I was thinking about doing. I don't really do video essays, but I was thinking about doing a video essay. And I'm like I was literally going to call it "In Defense of Defense," because like, you know, when you watch like you know, classic like Jackie Chan films or like kung fu films, so much of what they're doing is blocking, right? And it's really cool seeing someone have the answers to someone else's like threats. Like that's actually the cool part. And like, you remember the final kick, you remember the fucking kicking the dude in the volcano or whatever. But so much of what's actually dope is the block. I have the answer. You do the threat, I have the answer. And like, the fighting games are at their best when they feel like a conversation. Like, oh, Chad's an asshole. I knew you were gonna do this here, so I did this thing. And you're like, oh fuck, why did you mash this? I knew you were gonna do this. Like that conversational element of fighting games is what makes it fun. It's not just having flashy animations. It's the fact that like answers exist, and fighting games just feel so less conversational now. They feel way more selfish, because it's just like, I'm just like, to use your analogy, we're not really debating anymore. I'm just like, yelling shit at you, you're just yelling shit at me, and whoever's loudest happens to win. Like, this sucks, bro. This sucks. But
it's flat. No, it's not. It's round. That's literally the back and forth.
Yeah,
it's like, it's flat. No, it's round.
Yeah, there's no engaging though. Yeah, exactly. There's no engaging.
We're talking about gravity. We're not talking about any of that. Like sundials. No, we're not bringing evidence. We're just pushing our point.
Yeah.
We're just pre-subs.
Yeah. It's depressing. It's depressing. I'm not gonna lie. It's depressing.
It's pretty sad. And I blame mechanics. I used to blame people, but I'm like, well, if you keep presenting them with mechanics to kind of like empower that thinking, then I can't blame the people. To a degree, I can't really blame the people. Mechanics are making people do that.
But hang on, let's unpack this, right? Because at the end of the day, game design is just want to make money, right? So, like,
yep.
Clearly someone has decided, and maybe they're right, clearly someone has decided that offense-heavy game with fewer answers is better than a game where there are lots of... where all the threats have answers, where offense is risky, right? They've clearly decided that, and a part of me, I'm curious as to why that is, because you're saying like maybe let's not blame the people, but I guess have consumers asked for this, and have consumers rewarded this? Like, when did this happen? Because like, for example, I'll use Tekken because that's the franchise I know the best. Tekken 7 was the best-selling franchise in the franchise history, the best-selling game, right? So, which was clearly a very defensive game. So it's not like it failed, right? It's not like Tekken 7 failed, right? And so clearly, they thought that they wanted to do something. And my guess is because towards the end of Tekken 7's life, the tournament scene became so hard to watch. Because the tournament scene really was just Backdash Olympics, right? Like that meme that people talk about, the defensive thing, it didn't exist online. If you played online, it wasn't like that. But when you were watching the kings of Korea and Pakistan play, it did become that. And it seems to be that that's what they were trying to sort out. Oh, Finty's got opinions. Finty, you want in on this chat? Finty's got opinions. Finty's like liar. Finty's got opinions, bro. Finty, you got 20 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm open to Finn because you got shit to say. Hello?
Hey, what up?
Finn, okay, hold on. Bear with me. I gotta let C4 know. C4.
Oh my god, that was so hype.
C4, stop talking. I made a group chat and I got automatically jumped into it and you weren't there. Can you see the DM? Okay. Can you see the DM? Jump into it.
Okay, cool.
Alright, cool.
Where is it?
Hold
on.
There he is. He should be here now.
Yo.
Yes, he's here. He's here. Cool. Sorry about that. I jumped in when I invited you. I ended up jumping into your chat, and then I ended up leaving C4 when he's in the middle of an explanation of you were talking about how we perhaps were not as vocal about our love of defensive shit as we were. But even that, I don't know if I buy, because Evo Moment 37 or whatever. Like, come on, bro.
That was hype.
It was hype. Or the last one, or even the third strike. Again, it was third strike, but like the what was his name? The Hugo versus Ken match. Like, that is a worthless button. Like this is what I'm saying, bro. People get hyped for that shit. People do.
And that useless button getting thrown out, it was hype because it was like, that was random.
100%. That's
what the casual player sees. It's like, we've never seen that move. All the pros say it's a bad move. Hella random. I can't believe it won. That's hype.
But but I don't think that the narrative is that, oh, it's hype because it's random. I think the narrative is similar to the Evo Moment 32 or 7 or whatever, where it's like, wow, such mastery. Only a master would think that. Only a master would know that. Only a master would do that in this moment. I do think it was a moment of like mastery creation. Because if it's truly random, it wouldn't be sick. But it's like, who does that? And that's Justin's reaction too. Like, that's a worthless button. Do you know how much you have to play this game to know that move does that in that specific situation? And to have that so front of mind that you can do it on Evo Grand Stage? Like, it's crazy.
I agree, but you're missing... Maybe it's not a big point, but for me, it always sticks out. It's like, for Daigo to get that Evo Moment 37, it took a random super from Justin Wong. Took a random super. The super was done in neutral. He tried to chip. He threw it out. Rago. He didn't care. He didn't think that the mastery of Daigo would have parried it all.
Yeah.
He did something random. So even if the random part isn't why it was hype, the random part created the hype.
Yeah, but I'm not... oh, sorry, Finn. Yeah, we haven't let you go. How are you thinking of it? Go.
I just wanted to ask C4. I just wanted to ask you something. That parry, right? I know that Daigo said for him, it's so easy that you could wake him up at 3 a.m. in the morning and he would do that parry instantly. He said that. He actually said this. And I just wondered, like, because I never played Third Strike more than like a weekend, how hard is it to do that?
It's hard, bro. It's hard.
It's difficult.
It's hard, man.
It is difficult,
hard. It's hard.
It is difficult.
Because I remember I bought, so they had their re-release back on Xbox 360.
Yep.
And they had a bunch of trials, and one of the trials was, can you do the Daigo parry, right? So I know it's coming. Listen, it took me a week to do it once, bro. Like I would, to be fair, I would sit there for like 20 minutes and I couldn't get it. I could give up, and then I'd come back the next day and be like, I try it, and then eventually by day 3 I could do like the first couple of hits, and then I get hit. Like to do it once took me fucking forever. It's hard, bro. And then to be able to do it on demand, bro, on stage.
I think that's the harder part. I think it was the time he had to do it.
Yes,
that was the stress of having to do it then and there. Probably outweighs the execution difficulty, but the execution difficulty is still very hard.
It's still hard, yeah. It's still hard, man.
And then also you're in tournament and everyone is around you, like screaming mega loud, like ultra loud, while just...
No headsets in those days, bro. No headsets in those days.
Yeah, no headsets. And the health bar.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Justin Wong is besides you and also does this weird shit. I think he said he tried to throw Daigo off, but like randomly like janking his controller around in that moment to like make him tweak.
Yeah. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. It didn't work. No, he's locked in. But the point I'm trying to make is that, like, again, I will make that video essay at some point, right? In defense of defense, because I do think that defense is the thing that I really do think gets you. Offense is what makes you buy the game, I guess. But I do think defense is what makes you stay. I think defense is what makes you go into the lab. And
defense doesn't get you bitches. Defense does not. You're maidenless. If you care about defense, you're maidenless. Let's be real.
No, but like again, it's like defense with champions, like championships, like my coach used to say. Like, yes, I understand. Offense is what makes you buy the game. You put the offense in the trailer, but what makes you stay though? What makes you stay is defense.
I want to say something to that because maybe I'm literally maidenless, or like super lit, but get.
You're all maidenless, by the way.
No, we're all maidenless. That's why we make it fighting game content and not fucking League of Legends content.
Look. I don't know what it was. Like literally, this is for real true. Like the first tournament I ever watched was like CEO 2014 or 15, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I watched Street Fighter 4. I only ever played Street Fighter 4 for like 2 hours with a friend with a controller, and we tried to do the ultra and couldn't do it. So I had literally no idea how Street Fighter works. Any of those, I didn't like something like here crouch tag. No idea. I have no idea about frame data. I have no idea how fireballs actually work. Nothing. I'm literally someone who looks at something he doesn't understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I see Snake Eyes. This is what I don't know if that was exactly that tournament, but it was in that era. I see Snake Eyes versus Shin, and I'm like, bro, this
crazy match.
Yeah.
With Gen against Zangief,
mm-hmm.
and I'm like, bro, this is like the most beautiful, crazy shit I've ever seen. And I don't understand. I don't know what's going on, but I look at it and I'm like, this. But
you know enough. Yeah, you know enough. Yeah. There is something. Fighting games are so very readable, even if you don't understand video games in general. Like, for example, if I tried to show like my mom League of Legends, she'd be like, I have no idea what the fuck's happening on screen, and neither do I, frankly. But you could show a fighting game and be like, I see what's happening.
All I saw on the screen was Snake Eyes trying to get in, and this weird Asian old dude doing the to keep him like out with this like light, and it went multiple times. I think it's like the usual with Snake Eyes games, but it went to timeout like multiple times. And a round in Street Fighter is longer than in Tekken. It's like 99 seconds.
Yeah.
That shit went to timeout. It was a nail biter of the utmost highest order.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't understand what is going on, I thought this is sick.
Yep, David versus Goliath. It's so visceral, like matchups like that, especially with like grapplers, well, old grapplers, where Geef couldn't just armor his way in and get mad plus frames.
Right.
He could do green hand, maybe FADC, but you'd see that like once every 30 seconds.
This is what this is what I saw. Like I again, I had played this game for like 2 hours only, like arcade mode, and Street Fighter was Tekken or something, but like I have no idea. But I see this green hand and it makes sense. So he tries to get in and do this crazy grab because it does a lot of damage, right? I think it does a lot of damage. But it was enough for me to understand
That's the game.
What is going on here, like what the dynamic is, right? And I appreciated it so hard that I, at that time, even though I never continued or picked up Street Fighter 4, I continued to watch Final Round. What was it? When it was big Canada Cup, right? Yeah. Like all of this shit, these major tournaments. I watched that even though I have no idea about actual Street Fighter. So I don't know if I probably am an exception to the rule that proves the rule, I guess. Like, because for me, this defensive stuff and the rounds took so long and they have to be so careful, and the defensive options obviously are good. I don't know, maybe it just resonated with me. I don't know, because I didn't have the experience that I watched at this and thought it was lame. I thought it was sick. But I don't know.
We're in the minority. I think it's fascinating seeing someone like Snake Eyes.
Are we though? We
are the minority. Most people will not watch Zangief try to get it for 99 seconons. They ain't doing that. They're not going to do that. No way.
Are we though?
That is not entertaining, bro. That's not getting any. Sorry. Let me rephrase that. Nowadays, no one ain't trying to watch Geef without green hand, without an armor move, without drive rush running at you with green slop. Like, no one's watching someone walk forward. Wait.
Listen, just the other day, I was watching Smug try to beat this killer on Street Fighter 2, this killer Zangief player on Street Fighter 2, and getting bodied like 10 games in a row, and it was the most fun shit. It was the most fun shit. But maybe I'm old. Maybe I'm old. Maybe it's an old guy thing. Maybe we're biased. But I don't know, man.
No, Dudley's swinger. Dudley's entertaining because he's always got.
It's Street Fighter 2, so he's not playing Dudley. He's not playing Dudley. He's playing the whole cast. He's playing everyone else.
This old head stuff is also.
Oh, you're old then. Yeah, you're just old.
I'm not even fucking 30. Like, it's like. I don't know. This old head stuff is also unfair because I'm not fucking old. No one, by the way, no one here is old.
Oh, we're gaming old. You know what I mean. We're gaming
old, bro.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, no. But gaming world, we're children.
I mean, I watched Snake Eyes trying to get in for over a minute, or like for over 5 minutes. I watched him trying to get in, but bro, when he was in, I knew, okay, there's something about this grab. Now I know it sets up Oki, right? I didn't know that it was like, he basically gets a mix or like whatever after it, but I knew this shit is dangerous, so he can't let him get in.
You can see what he's trying to do, yeah.
Amazing.
No, of course, because the thing is, right, whether it's football, whether it's basketball, whether it's rugby, whether it's an action movie or chase, right? The struggle is the game, right? And so even if you're a noob, if you understand player A is trying to get in close, player B trying to keep the person away from them, there's something inherently interesting there. There is when I can clearly identify what the struggles are and you have two different characters who have two different aims, you can see that. Whereas if both characters are just fucking throwing, like, you can't really distinguish, okay, what is this character's game plan versus what is the other character's game plan. Like, ironically, by making everything more flashy, I feel like you make the actual struggle between them less interesting. I'm being genuinely serious, and this is more for Finn, I suppose, because it's a Tekken question specifically. I genuinely do not find watching high-level Tekken engaging anymore. And what's interesting is I actually find watching mid-level Tekken more engaging now than high-level Tekken, which was never the case. When I'm watching two people play suboptimally, I'm like, anything can happen. Anything can happen. This person's gonna throw an unsafe thing here, but like, you might not punish it, right? Whereas
wait. I don't know if this is true, because we watch the beef matches and we watch.
That's what I'm talking about. The beef matches are suboptimal.
Yeah, but they're fun to watch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're proving my point. I love watching those matches.
I know you saying you don't find them fun to watch.
No, I love it.
Wait, chat, wait, one thing.
Go on.
Like, watching Are You Richie play, okay, that's one thing, right? I enjoy that shit, but that is close to, like, that is tournament.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about Are You Richie. I'm not talking about Are You Richie.
watching, but watching Moonsault versus D, that is fucking. That is. If there was no drama involved, I wouldn't watch this shit. Like even C4, who doesn't really play Tekken, probably could tell this is pretty low level shit. What's going on there?
I love every second of it, but that's just me.
To watch, man.
Oh, that's just me. That's what I want to know if it was just me, because I have found like when I'm watching like you're right, Rich is a competitive player. Like he's taking out gods. So it's like I'm not talking about that, right? I'm talking about people who are like somewhat competent, but like are not necessarily at like world level. I find those way more fun than watching like the gods play, just because I find the play patterns repeat too consistently, even at the highest level.
Do you think it's more because you don't know who's going to win because they're both bad?
Kind of. It's just it's less, but there's also just more variance. And there's also just way more. Yeah. It's hard to describe. I don't know why it is. Go on,
Dad. You're the problem. I'm telling you.
Go on.
Variance is the issue.
Go on.
You are the problem.
But how do you
Team +5 is a variant. That's the problem.
No, but that's happening whether the pros are playing too or not. That's where that part's happening regardless.
You are the audience that they're catering to.
How do you mean?
Armored moves plus on block moves, that is variance. That's not consistent.
Yeah.
There's no consistency in modern games.
Yeah.
So, and to be fair, I indulge in some slop.
Mm-hmm.
And it is entertaining because you don't know who's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, when you watch like old games, the best player always wins. That's why you had so much consistency back then.
Sure.
Well, probably like asking Ash now, who's found the formula.
Mm-hmm.
When we watch mid-level games,
mm-hmm.
the excitement is, I can't call this. I don't know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And what they've done is they've taken elements of mechanics and went, now you still can't do it. Now the top players are they going to win or not? Because this technique, this mechanic, this character has a way to bypass skill.
Sure. I think for me, it's I guess I was confused by what you meant, but I hear what you mean. But I don't think that flies. And the reason I say that is because, how do I put this? When I'm watching the highest level players, they are only using the few best moves, and they're often
the good shit, yeah.
They're doing the good shit. They're often using the same few characters. I mean, but that's just a function of the fact that there are only few players at that level, to be fair, right? But it's usually the same few characters using the same few moves in the same few situations, and cycling through the same few finite options. So what ends up happening is that matches end up looking very much the same, and I can't fault them because those are genuinely objectively best option. That is objectively the best combo. This is objectively the best thing to do on Wake Up. This is objectively the best thing to do at the wall. Whereas when I'm watching two non-best players, they're just pulling shit out their ass, bro.
Okay, look, I can see that, like, totally. This is why suddenly C4, this is, by the way, why, if you wondered if you I don't know how your YouTube feed looks like at this point, I imagine there is like some Tekken in it. That is why suddenly everyone and their mother talked about the Reina player that 6-0'd Arslan, because it was finally something fresh, like something new to talk about, not like,
another Anna victory. Brian beat this Anna with this move, as we all know is OP. Like, great. Awesome.
This is why suddenly everyone was like, Rashput, shoutouts to Rashput, why this Reina player, suddenly everyone talked about it, because everything else is like, what the sequences are like. Basically it's like this. The Tekken 8 pro players, they also do the slop. Like, their rounds are slop.
but it's precise.
Just in a more polished sense.
It's precise slop. Exactly. It's like it doesn't even have the one redeeming quality of slop, which is messiness. Right? Like, it doesn't even have the one thing that makes slop redeemable, which is like, well, it's kind of messy. Like, no, it's precise slop, which is the worst of both worlds.
That is and back in Tekken 7, you could even appreciate on a technical level the kind of like top tier slop characters, because what they did was still impressive. Like, it was still like, wow, this is like very, very, this is very nice. For me, for example, when I watched Khan versus Ni, and it was Feng versus Geese, which is considered at that time probably a bit sloppy, because like Feng was buffed, like suddenly his quality of life shoot up. He shot up 20 places in the usage tier list, which proves that Tekken players don't care about character loyalty. They care about how good and easy that bitch is.
True.
But it was still incredible to watch, even though it was 2D slop basically, versus the best, the worst part of like Tekken 7 late era slop, which was like Feng Wei. still completely unnerved. Like even Back Campo 3 was completely unnerved. And even that, you look at this and I look at this and I'm like, that's crazy nice. But now watching like Anna versus Brian or like, bro, like if
I have to watch another Anna versus Brian, I'm gonna die.
How often I have to see something like, Atif does Heat Smash, which is a completely free, riskless button and now the question is he gonna do nothing or is he gonna power crush after it because he's -5? It's like it's like it repeats itself over and over again, these situations, right? I can still this is why I get around to Mike Hollow. He's actually right. I thought he was a bit maybe not that right, but he is right. As soon if you take Heat completely out of it, it gets more interesting. But as soon as Heat is like the big slop, the big slop. As soon as a Heat engager lands, you know exactly what is going to happen and what is not going to happen.
There's so much, 100%. And oftentimes, and part of the reason is because you realize that, again, not to dump too much, because this is broader than just, this conversation meant to be broader than just Tekken. But like, a lot of it is when a character has Heat, you need to stop playing Tekken now. Don't don't do nothing. Because if he pushes the riskless button on his end and he catches you with it, the round's over. So weirdly, they activate Heat and less Tekken happens. Like, it's fucking weird. Like, just less Tekken happen. We have to stop playing Tekken now. Just fucking don't do it.
I think it's worse than that. I think Tekken it's a tag game. Well, with that mechanic.
It's got that philosophy, yeah.
You win, hit or block. You win, hit or block. And what's your reward?
Yeah, exactly.
Damage or mix. And that's what I'm saying.
Did you hear C4 say that earlier about tag games? Because he had an insight that neither of us have brought up, and I think needs to be, next time you're on a Mike Collar stream, bring that up, because I think it's so spot on. What he essentially said was that, it's going to stick with me, was basically the idea that classically, game developers made it so that you won neutral when you successfully landed a hit on your opponent. Whereas in tag games, the second you make your opponent block something, you've won neutral, right? And so and now single fighting game developers have taken that philosophy. Like, merely making your opponent block a thing means you now earn the right to make them guess. You now get to win neutral. And that transition took us all by off guard, because if you're not a Marvel person, you're like, what the fuck is this? Why am I guessing? I blocked the mid. It's like, yes, you blocked it, so you have to guess. And it feels wrong if you don't come from that environment.
It's like in 2XKO as well, like you connect, like you just need to connect with your opponent and you do light, medium, heavy assist and you get a mix. And if it hits, you get a full combo. That's it. And what has to be said though, in those games, you have sometimes you have crazier movement, crazier options to avoid the opponent, crazier zoning. You have crazier, like everyone in 2XKO has a universal wake-up attack, which is a universal basically DP and shit like that, or push block or retreating guard, stuff like this. You don't have that in Tekken, which is why you have these rounds where someone just holds the shit, because even though there is counterplay, if you in the sense of, okay, let's say I predict my opponent doing exactly that. Like, I put him on the win button, right? I can, a lot of the times, actually parry this or do a precise power crush. The problem is, the risk is so high that if he baits this in any way, you explode on the spot, which is why you will always see pro players rather block this out, because it's too risky. If you press any, you are immediately dead. And the risk your opponent takes is minimal. And this leads to someone standing there against Lydia for like literally 10 seconds straight. You would think, if you're from 2D, you would think there's a block string, but it isn't. But it's too risky to interrupt. It's like a block string that, I don't know how to, you could probably find examples, but if it's a block string, you can actually interrupt, but there's like a second layer there. If he catches you with this, you immediately explode. So you don't even take the risk. You just block the string, let him be plus again, and do the next shit,
You've got tag offense, but you haven't got tag defense. You haven't got push block and stuff like that. Like, that's why it doesn't work, but all these modern games have made money off of it. But to me, they're not interested. That's why I don't play most of the modern games.
Exactly. And this is why I always say, it's not about competitive integrity. There is still, because of legacy factors and knowledge, so there's so much skill expression still left in Tekken 8. The problem is they made all of this shit uninteresting. It's uninteresting. The rounds are uninteresting. It is not interesting. That is the problem. Because people will immediately come to you
block isn't interesting unless you have a push block, in my eyes. Because a push block adds a variable to the offender to have to adjust. you don't adjust when you're +5. You
I
just
mean,
do. You
push-
go caveman style.
I'm with you, but push blocking, that is the 2D world's answer. But historically, we've not needed that because if you had, sufficient,
it wouldn't work in Tekken. Yeah.
No, but what you've introduced, like I said, is a variable to make it so that you aren't just oppressed by frames. Whereas in the 3D games, we had that in the form of just a sidestep, right? Effective sidestep will get you around that. Like again, seeing as I have Virtua Fighter 1 in the background, like in Virtua Fighter, if a move is not programmed to track and I sidestep, it will whiff, right? This means that most moves in the game have zero tracking. Like zero tracking. Right. So literally, you could be +8, right? But if your next move is not a tracking move and I step, guess what, bitch? Like, I just get around that, right? Which opens up the...
From both of you.
Yeah, go.
Why do you think tracking is a better solution than Soul Calibur just having vertical and horizontal attacks? Because I prefer the Soul Calibur method.
How do you mean? Clarify. What do you mean by the question?
You mean like a more binary thing?
Yeah, because I feel tracking is to stop sidesteps. You need moves to stop sidesteps, right? I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's obviously going to be a massive inconsistency in each person's tracking move.
Sure.
Where Soul Calibur just goes vertical moves, you sidestep. Horizontal moves, you don't sidestep.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, I'm with you.
And I was thinking, do you guys think one is better than the other? Like one method is tracking better to have as a concept of stopping sidesteps, or is horizontal attacks better as a concept to stop sidesteps?
Finn, you want to go first?
Well, I mean, the thing is, the problem with this tracking stuff is they try to. The problem with it works, but the problem is it's like so. It's not easily understandable for newer players because it's so annoying to exactly know the tracking values are not displayed.
Mm-hmm.
The tracking values are not displayed. They now went to the effort of showcasing when a move is not homing, because we obviously have homing moves in Tekken which are fully tracking. They introduced that with Tekken 6 to make it easier. They introduced these moves to show to new players, hey, if someone steps you constantly, this is like your super consistent tracking move, which will track both directions completely hard. And now they went to the effort of showing you with white trails, that a move tracks basically fully into that direction. Mm-hmm. So they try to do this like, oh, this move fully half tracks, so to speak. This move is homing, so it fully tracks. The tracking stuff leads to problems. I actually don't know what's better. I think Tekken right now, the way it's built, because it's such a legacy heavy game, and now build a fundament off of a fundament off of a fundament. I think you can't even like reform this. So I think Tekken is like anyway stuck with this because I think it would not work. You need these like soft tracking values, but it's the brain damage of Tekken, right? Tekken is so stupid actually that it depends on exactly what character you play as well. The tracking values is actually completely overcomplicated, which was always a problem of Tekken.
Yes.
It's so needlessly overcomplicated because it depends on your exact distance to your opponent. So, for example, if I'm -6, I don't track. But if I'm using a different move that is also +6, let's say I'm +6, I used a move, I'm +6. If I now want to do a follow-up attack, it doesn't track you. Shit, so it doesn't track at +6. But then you notice I do another attack that creates a different spacing, but it's also +6 on hit. Suddenly you get tracked. Yeah. Because of physics, right? Of like how much distance between your opponent actually. But then you notice, oh, wait a minute. But if I play against this, or this character, or I play as this character, suddenly it doesn't track or tracks. Yeah. Like it's so needlessly complicated. But I think you would have to design the full kit of you have to basically design this game completely differently to get rid of this. Sorry for the long.
No. That's a perfect answer. I'm literally gonna answer both of you said. To answer C4's question more directly, after now playing a bunch of different games, I agree with you. I think that the Soul Calibur /VF system is superior. Like, there are moves that will track you if you're sidestepping, and there are moves that will not. Period, point blank, consistently. You can mark them, you can measure them, and it works all the time, right? because this is so important for readability. It's clear that they wanted Tekken to be an easier game to learn, Tekken 8 to be an easier game to learn than previous Tekken games. There is nothing they could have done to make the game more readable, consistent, and easier to learn than to make the tracking be really consistent. Like I use this example a lot, and it's a weird one, but think about like Pokemon. If I know, I do too. If I know your Pokemon is a fire type Pokemon, but I don't know the specifics of it, but I know I have a water move, I can make a bunch of assumptions just from my knowledge of the system, right? Like my move will probably do 100% extra damage because you'll be weak to water, right? Having consistent rules allows you to actually make more informed situations without having to know the niche individual case of each individual one, right? I don't need to know about every single Pokemon. You can just tell me a couple details. Oh, this is a fire type. It's a fire ground type. Oh, great. 400% weakness to water, right? Just by understanding the rules. Whereas Tekken is a game where it's like, if the Tekken designers made Pokemon, each individual Pokemon would have unique weaknesses exclusive to it. And knowing its type would not be able to make inferences. So you wouldn't be able to be like, oh, Pikachu, what are his weaknesses? You wouldn't be able to be like, well, it's an electric type, so it's weak to ground. No. You'd have to look it up. You'd have to look up specifically
on what ground specifically.
Exactly. What about this? It's only weak to ground attacks if it comes from this other thing. And that demand of the player is unhinged. It's unhinged.
And you know what?
But I will say this one.
Have you been following Pokemon?
Go on.
Real quick, then. I'm going to be super quick. Have you been following Pokemon from like Sword and Shield?
Yes, I have.
So it's basically Terra. It's like Terrorin.
It's like Terra, but imagine it was like every Pokemon could do it consistently without limited. Yeah, without limit. Like it's just like it
Terra. That's what you. Okay, cool.
Think about what it does competitively to your ability to make decisions. Whereas in Virtua Fighter, but also in Soul Calibur, I'm like, this motherfucker keeps doing AAA, the horizontal attack, right? I'm going to, but it's a high. Like, I love that if I know a move is a high and I crouch, I will go under it 100% of the time, right? That is great. When fucking Claudio's on the other side of the screen and I know it's about to do the running 2 Superman punch, I duck it, I go under it, and I launch him. It feels great. Why can't I also do that when fucking Kazu's on the other side of the screen and I know he's about to forward too, right? I know he's gonna forward too. So I'm like, all right, cool. The second I visually confirm the forward movement, I'm gonna press up. But you can't do that because if you start moving by the time you have visually confirmed the forward, it's already too late. Especially online, it's already too late. You need to have already been stepping forward at the moment that you push the button, but before you could visually confirm it. And it's like, and we just accept that because that's what Tekken's been like. Like Finn was saying before, Tekken is so built on legacy architecture. That's just the way it is, and we just kind of accept that. And ironically, you could kind of justify it when the movement engine was very generous, because you could just use superior movement to just kind of backdash out of that bullshit. Like,
I mean, true, in Tech 2, it was basically, it was like this. I mean, it was actually like this.
Yes.
Almost apart from homing moves, it was literally...
You could just stuff around almost around everything, yeah. That's my point. The movement system held the jank of their design together, right? I'm increasingly thinking that Speed Kicks was right when he said that they landed on Tekken by accident. Like they didn't. The brilliance of this game is almost despite their efforts. Like it almost landed by accident, and like the movement engine is what allowed them to get away with what was frankly a lot of bad design. Because once you mastered the movement engine, you can kind of get around it. You didn't need to know everything. You need to know everything. You just backdash out of this certain things, size up out of most things. You got to play by feel once you have the movement engine down. And ironically, the more they clamped down on the movement engine, the more you had to actually come to terms with the actual decisions of Tekken's like development. And you go, oh, this is messy. Why is it like this?
You are actually very, very correct about this. I will say one thing though. One thing I will say is that I am one of those people who appreciates actually the needless bloat and the needless complicating of things. I think because that allows for the ultimate insanely 1 in a million situation skill expression where you're like, he knew about this shit? Are you crazy? And he like applied it perfectly. I like this shit. I also always liked, for example, I don't know if maybe some of you have played this game, like in Demon's Souls, where they still had the world tendencies, which was completely overcomplicated for no reason. In and it was only in that game. It never returned this world tendency stuff because it was overly complicated. The rules didn't make intuitive sense, but I liked it. I was like, wow, this is so deep and it's so needlessly over designed. I love it.
But the thing is, you can have both though. You can have both. Like a game can have consistent rule base that even the most common, the commoners can understand, and still have this sort of high level of decision making for the Jimmy J Trans in the world. You know what I mean? Like you can actually have both, right? Like Virtua Fighter has both. I have not played competitive Soul Calibur, but I'm sure the ceiling of Soul Calibur has this too. But it's still useful on the ground level to be able to eyeball a move and be like, hey, he keeps spamming that fucking move. I'm just gonna sidestep it next time, and to have it work consistently. Like I don't think that's unreasonable. In fact, increasingly, I would love, and the thing is, I would love right now. The last great innovation that they had was sort of the crushing system, right? Which like basically, if a move is a low crushing move, it basically turns off your low hitboxes if I'm doing it. So if I do a jumping kick and you're doing a low attack, it'll basically turn off your legs. It'll turn off your low. So it'll do no damage. Even if your model clips through my model, it will act as if it didn't, right? And I'm increasingly of the opinion that they need to introduce those sort of crushing mechanics for sidestepping. Like long range moves that are supposed to be balanced around being linear need to be crushable to the sides. Like they actually just need to be crushable. Because there have been, again, I get very annoyed by the forward 4-2s. It's one of my biggest pet peeves in these games. Like, if you're doing a forward 4-2, I should be able to, like, sidestep it even on the last frame before it becomes active. Like, I should just be able to crush it. Because if it's balanced around being linear, then make it linear.
I see where you get with this. I mean, obviously, if you do like literally like last frame.
Oh, you know what I'm exaggerating. Yes, of course.
Someone will now say, "Oh, but then you would just do up back, and you would constantly crush it."
Sure.
But okay, but I get what you mean. Yeah, I think like I don't know how you design this because it would basically you need attacks. But you have something like this in the sides, which ironically are very useful attacks in Tekken 8 now. This is why they nerfed them, right? Jin up. This is why they nerfed it. This is actually, you're right. These attacks that did this were so powerful because you're right that they had to nerf them. AKA, with 3 examples right now. Feng up 2 nerfed. Asuka sidestep 2 nerfed. Jin up 2 nerfed. They nerfed all of this in Tekken 8 because people started to see, whoa, these moves that actually go to the sides and are evasiveness, like sideways backswing blows, basically. They are so useful in this game because you need them that they specifically nerfed this for Jin up to -10 now.
Yeah.
They don't want most devs don't want consistency. They don't want it. They want variables. They don't want something to consistently be the right answer.
Yeah.
Or they don't want it to be safe. They don't want it to be a safe right answer. They want it to be a risky right answer, or an answer that doesn't work all the time.
I guess so.
But I mean, you had this, like you had this because I also have to push back on the Tekken old heads always when they basically act like basically Tekken old heads act like this. It doesn't matter if it's a hater of the old Tekkens or a glazer, you will run into the same narrative that both people sometimes push. It's like they act that basically everything in the old Tekkens, every sort of offense and shit was like option selectable completely. And it's that's not true. It's like, it's completely not true. It's completely not true. Absolutely not. It's insanely not true. But for some reason, this narrative has established itself. I don't know why. I literally don't know why, because I have watched competitive Tekken. You can still find footage dating back to fucking Tekken 3 if you want, and it's just not true. It's like literally not true. But it's just the power level. The power for me is just one word. If I had one word, it's power level. The power level is so high that it's unhealthy for the game system. For the movements engine, for how mid high low system, how the mix up works in Tekken in comparison to 2D games with low mid. Opposed to something like strike throw, or left right. We have low mid, and it's what they did. The power level is now so high that it breaks these systems. It's too high. It or like not breaks, but it completely
it makes it it's top heavy. Yeah. The balance is gone. Yeah, 100%. No, but it's really frustrating. And I guess the sort of the meta question, I guess is the sort of the last question I'll ask at this point is like, earlier on we kind of had the analogy of like the developers kind of didn't like the way that Tekken 7 looked on the tournament level at the end, right? And so they probably made changes. They wanted competitive Tekken to look more exciting than it did by the end of Tekken 7, right? Like so it's similar to how, the basketball NBA kind of introduces the goaltending rule to avoid tall people just standing by the net and standing there stopping the ball from going in the hoop, right? Or the key violation, right? You can't just stand in the key. Or the offside rule is a rule that's literally invented to stop people from just hanging out by the goal, right? You create rules to almost artificially to make the act of watching the game more exciting, right? Because there's money to be made there. So that makes sense. I guess my question is, what do they want the game to look like? Do you think that they're happy with the way it looks now? Because I genuinely think it is less visually engaging. I don't think they're happy. Forget us. We're clearly not happy. We've not been happy since forever. But my question is, are they happy with the way the game looks now? Because they clearly have all the visual effects. But like, is it as dynamic as they wanted it to look?
I thought when I saw how Tekken 8 looks like and what kind of attacks they put into the game and what they did with Season 2, I think they have completely, which is, again, I think this title is an experiment. This title is a playground. You were in the stream when I think said this. This is a playground, and I think for this game they completely said, they went to a whiteboard and wrote one word that they will ignore for this development or for the combat balance, and that was competitive integrity. That is this word they completely scratched through. They scratched through when it comes to like power level and shit, or like limitations to like power level, and they completely scratched that through and said, we don't care about this anymore, which is why Leo's Low returned.
Sure.
Like they went back very deep 16 years ago and said, hey, what can we find in this box in Tekken 6 that we thought was too toxic to put into the game? This one. Okay, let us take this and put it in Season 2. And I think this is an approach that is interesting. Just saying, okay, what's fun? Flashy attacks, plus frames, a mix-up, what's fun? This like what everyone already repeated countless of times, that it seems like they focused way too much on the guy who is pressing the buttons and not the guy who has to deal with all the buttons. I think it was an experiment. I think they are completely aware. They were completely aware of how it could turn out, what they are doing, but they said, why not test this? Like, why not do it? Why not just see how Tekken would look like if we do all that? Because to be frank, and to also protect the developers a little bit, they did almost, let's be fucking real, they did almost kind of the same shit for almost 16 years. So, I also kind of understand that.
But I think this is one of those questions that actually the most important opinion here is actually probably more C4's, right? Because we were in regardless, right? Whereas like C4, like obviously he knows Tekken, he knows all the fighting games, frankly, but like these changes were made to appeal to him, to someone who perhaps has not committed themselves to Tekken, but to get in. So like C4, I don't know if you're still here, but like, do you, when you watch Tekken 8, like, as a visual thing, you're like, this is way more, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying the visual thing. And you can say yes, because it needs to be for outsiders, right? So like, does it work for you? Does the sport of Tekken work for you? Is it more appealing now than it has been in the past?
I'm going to give an answer. It's going to sound like I'm dancing around it, but honestly, this is how I think. Most of the time when I like a game, it's not a good game for spectators. I like Cross Tekken, I like Dive Kick, I like Hunter x Hunter because how paramount it is to win neutral, because you can get unblockable with your next two characters.
I hear you.
With the old Tekken, I would have problems commentating it.
Sure.
Because optimal Tekken was about avoiding.
Sure.
And not in the flashy way like Marvel does, where it's like, oh, he's plate dashing and he's flying and all this sort of jazz, right?
Sure.
It's very like grounded sidestepping, which and backdashing, right?
The meta game is not as clear.
Yeah, it's not visually pleasing. There's not enough bright colors, right?
Sure.
So to commentate it, someone being optimal is going to be very, very, very hard.
Yes,
I can appreciate the difficulty in it. There's a lot of things when I commentate, I can't portray properly because I'm biased.
I'm
very biased.
Sure.
and I give up. And it's like, we've seen that people don't like lane play. Cross Tekken got beamed out of the stratosphere because people win by timeouts.
Yeah, exactly.
Where timing out is a very legit strategy to do. Do you know how hard it is to
lay me
stay
out like
away?
Cross Tekken. Yeah, I remember that.
Bro, it's hard to stay away from aggressive characters for 60 seconds.
Yeah.
To me, that's more of an achievement than going in on someone and going, ha, you press the button, can't hit, you die.
Sure.
So when I look at this Tekken, bar the hit counter thing, it's way easier to commentate. It's way easier to make hype. So I don't like it, but for someone who doesn't follow
you know
Tekken,
what?
it's
No, but
but
this is important. This is what we need to hear more of.
I watched D and Moonsault Slayer because it's like they both look pretty bad, but someone's gonna get hit. Someone's
gonna blow up. Someone's gonna blow up. Yeah, someone's gonna blow up.
Yeah,
I hear you.
But it is the Rip meme, right? Where Rip commentated Kudans versus blah blah blah, and then Rip said, "Wow, this was amazing. He guessed 5 times to 5 times he decided to stand block and then low and then he blocked high, and it's like this, right? Because that is like the lowest denominator of like hype. It's basically like a Transformers movie, right? These movies were very successful. They were very successful. But were they good movies? Nah, but they made money, right? They were successful. People went into the cinema and said, "Yeah, Optimus Prime."
You know what the funny thing is, and it might piss you off. Street Fighter has the same thing, and it's had it for years, and that's the shimmy. Shimmies aren't that hype.
Yeah.
If you ever hear a comment, they go, "Oh my god, you shimmy!"
They go crazy.
Shimmy in like 20 years, bro. How about you just wake up, do sweep? How about that? And only one person does it, and it's Enden Walker. He's the only person who does it. You beat a shimmy, you sweep, you go low.
He wakes up and does like dodgy medium kick.
But the shimmy is so nice, though.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Visually, shimmies always look good because you see someone with something. You don't whiff in Tekken. You don't whiff anymore, bro. You can't sidestep anything.
There's nothing to whiff.
Seeing someone go stupid. You know what?
That's the best thing. That's the best, bro.
It's the fucking Looney Tunes. Like, he fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what? The best thing about Strive is, and everyone doesn't agree with me, but I'm telling them they're lying. You know when the counter comes on the screen and it consumes the whole fucking visual aspect of your life.
Yeah, counter.
Counter. Like, yes, thank you. Thank you, commentator.
When I saw that, I was like, that's genius. Because you know what? Something that all of us hold dear is the aspect of, I want your mum to know I counter hit you, dummy.
Sure.
That's sick. I want everyone in my postcode to know that I hit your button. And that's what that counter does, and it is hype. I will die on that hill.
But
that counter being so big is hype.
Like this, bro. Because in Tekken they did zoom in slow by counter, boom, zoom in, bam, and they didn't do this before. So why not? This is what I mean.
Yeah.
Look, what I think is they already had everyone sold on Tekken 8 simply because how the game looks. The game is still probably the best looking fighting game since almost 2 years. It looks amazing. It has customization. It has all of this good shit. It has the lounge. Like, why not flesh this even out more? Where it's like, bro, the customization is like a huge part of the game. It's an amazing customization engine.
Yeah.
Like, why not focus on that shit? Because honestly, when like the C4 is an outlier because C4 is a fighting game nerd. But like Timmy on the streets, he doesn't buy Tekken because like, oh, they made the movement now a little bit more blah blah blah. I can clearly tell that this is plus on block exactly like no, he buys the game because Kazuya looks crazy sick. Right?
Yeah. No,
that's what I say.
No, but I think what C4 is really hitting at is something I've been thinking a lot about because I think I mentioned this before. I've got a little nephew who doesn't have a console. He has he has a Switch, and he came to my house literally a few weeks ago, and he played Street Fighter for the first time. Played Street Fighter and he played Tekken on my computer, and I saw the fires light up in him. I saw the light up. It was him against his sister, and like he was just getting hype, getting salty when he lost, hype when he won. And I got a message the other day that his dad is buying him I think Street Fighter for the Switch, right? So or Tekken, one of them, I don't know. But like literally, he's getting into that shit. But what I found really interesting is the first time that I realized that we got into this genre as children, as kids, and like as weird and as annoying as it might seem. Fighting game franchises kind of need to think about how we're going to get the kids into our game. How How are we gonna get the kids in? And like, I never really understood the appeal of Luke. I thought Luke was trash, but like, my nephew really responded well to Luke. Really responded well to Luke. And like, cause Luke is like a children's TV character. And like, Luke never made sense to me until I saw the way my little nephew reacted. Oh, okay, no, this wasn't made for me. I got Ryu. I don't need anyone. I got Ryu. This is his Ryu. You get what I mean?
Luke is modern day Power Ranger.
Totally, right? And what's interesting is that I look at Mary Zo and I'm like, fuck Mary Zo. But I go, okay, but like my little nephew's probably going to think Mary Zo's the coolest shit that's ever happened. I don't need it. I don't need a new character. I got my characters. I got 30 of them, right? But the kids need Mary Zo, right? And I've spent a lot of time bitching about the animization of Tekken. But these kids didn't grow up with 90s fucking martial arts movies. So that's not even
like. But
go on.
Like, I think they can do all that. They can make everything anime, make the characters like use glowing magical pole stuff. I never got into Tekken for that. I got into Tekken. I honestly, I couldn't care about the visuals. In like, I think nothing is more disinteresting or uninteresting to me than debating like if it was already too much that Yoshimitsu, I don't know, flew on a sword, like if that's already too anime, because I care about the situations in the game, and sure. I just think this, like, why did you have to riddle everything with plus frames? I don't get it.
But the thing, but hold on, the things are connected, because you're right.
Matrix, bro. You're too deep in the Matrix. You're seeing the ones and zeros. Everyone else seeing the ice cream.
Yeah, because the thing is,
it looks cool.
Yeah, these two things
see the minus or plus 5. Yeah, they don't see that.
These two things are connected, because what you're saying is like, I don't really care about aesthetics. I care about the combat mechanics. But the thing is, what we're saying about aesthetics also is in terms of combat mechanics. They don't want to see they don't want to see the full. Hold on, they don't want to see the forward dash, back dash, and then because they reacted to the forward dash, they threw out a move, they whiffed, and then you punish it. That's not what's going to get them hype. What's going to get them hype is fucking player one fucking charging up a Kaioken, charging in, landing +5, fucking the defending player going, oh, being reeled back by the power, pushed further back into the wall, and then fucking, like, you know what I mean? The camera zooms in on this animation because he got hit. Like, that's what they want to. So it's.
But you can do that. You can do it without making it completely degenerate. You can make that.
I don't know, man. I've not seen it. I've not seen it. I've not seen it. What is that? What is that?
You don't have to make. But bro, you don't have to make, like, there was no need to give, for example, heat smashes. Okay, why go so overboard that they also have to wall splat, floor break, wall break? But why? Because
it looks sick, bro. Because it looks sick.
No,
it looks sick.
All three of us here, if we go, we are the type of people that look behind the veil like, oh, that shit's really cool. We see them make the food. Most people just want to see the end result and say, that's yummy. And they don't care about how it's made. We care about how the hit. They want to know what the hit does.
But also, this is perfect because, again, Virtua Fighter's in the background, and I've had this discussion before. I truly feel that Virtua Fighter, in terms of the combat system, is the best combat system in a 3D fighting game.
Yeah,
ever,
wait until they fuck this up with VF6.
Yeah, VF6, I have to go back to VF6 gonna be shit. But the thing is, one of the things I've learned, the hardest things I've learned about while playing VF is like, it actually doesn't matter if you have a great combat system, if the aesthetics aren't there, if the hype's not there, and if the player base isn't there, right? Like, this is the thing. I remember a while back I said that I think Virtua Fighter is the best fighting game, and you challenged me on this, right? And I was really annoyed by this. But when I really thought about it, I was like, no, he has a point, because a fighting game is more than its combat system. Combat system is the most important thing to me and to you and to hardcore nerds, right? To lab monsters, that's the thing we care about. The ones and the zeros, the numbers, like C4 saying, the Matrix, right? But a fighting game is and has to be more than that. And VF fails in all those other areas, but it wins in the one area I think is the most important. Right, and that's VF's biggest problem. It always has been, right? And like, it looks that's the tragedy, right? And so as a nerd, as someone who's here for the combat systems, it's so hard. And like, even when I try to make videos explaining it to people, it's so difficult because it's like the beauty of the game isn't really on the screen, it's in your head. Like, the beauty of the game is like the decisions you have to make. But how do you sell that on screen? Far easier to just sell fucking explosions, bro. It's far easier to just put titties on screen and explosions. That's far easier to sell. It's so hard. Go on.
It's like basically getting people to read a book instead of watching anime, huh?
Totally.
Yeah.
It's really different. It's really, and I can't necessarily fault people because, of course, life is short. You have finite amount of hours. Am I going to take your word for it and get into this thing? And even if I do, okay, I'm going to get really good to play this game that 8 other people are playing. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's a hard sell, right? And so again, go on.
I don't want to always. I just think they can make it look like for example, rage drives, right? You remember? I mean, thank God that you played this game. Like rage drives. I mean, that shit. It came in. It was very fast. Boom! It was a big attack. Yes, it was just like, oh, he is blue for a moment. But they could have
back in the game. Yeah.
Like to the heat smashes, which they did. But why? Why does it like? For example, Brian, you remember Brian's back 1+2, which was just back 1 juiced up. It was a normal hit launcher. It came out, but it was there. Okay, it was a sick, also basically free attack, but it was linear. It didn't have that much range, by the way. And if it was blocked, it was like pushback, and it was +2 or 3. It basically kinda reset to neutral and was just a free mid he can throw out that resets to neutral, but if it hits, he gets massive reward, right? If that hits, he gets massive reward. And why not make this look like the nuke, like in Tekken 8, make it look like a nuke, but the end result is basically that. I mean, the people who look at this and say, whoa, this looks crazy sick, they would be happy, and I, who is like, don't make this shit fucking stupid, would also be happy. I have two answers. I have 2 answers for this. The reason for this is because in order for it to make you happy, it needs to be conservative. Yes, it's very powerful, but you only get it at the end of the round. If it's blocked, you're kind of done. You can make
it to neutral.
Make it heat smash. It's fine, but don't make.
Go on.
I'm just like. Make the rage drive the heat smashes. That's fine. Or like I don't like it, but okay, if I have to pay that price, it's fine. But don't make it. Like what was Brian's? Brian's was like +15. Close, like in my face.
I get you. But the thing is, we're in agreement here. I'm just playing devil's advocate. The reason why they won't do that is because what happens is, you will then have, by their estimations, a very boring conservative game, and then you have a flash of awesomeness when you do the rage drive or the rage thing. It's like, why don't we make it all rage drive? That's the thinking, right? Like, that's the thinking. Because Tekken 7 was, again, not in my view, in their view, a very boring conservative game until someone got rage. Then the rage arts came out. Then the rage drives came out. It's like, how about...
But funny enough, only the rage drive came out on pro level.
Well, high level, exactly. Well, that's not true. Saint definitely landed a few rage arts in the day. Saint definitely landed a couple.
It's something I always highlight because it's so funny to think about. I watched so much. So many Tekken 7.
Yeah, same.
And basically, in 9 out of 10 cases, when a rage art came out, you could hear the commentators go, he rage arted, bro. What a scrub, bro. And it gets blocked and he's dead.
Yeah.
In 9 out of 10 cases, it was like, he rage arted, bro. That's not gonna work.
But then Saint does it.
Now it's like
now it's legit. Now it's legit. Now it's legit.
It's a legit defensive option, even though it works the same.
You have to guess between mid and the low. You have to, and so it's like this beats both mid and the low. So now the real mix-up is immediate timing or not. Yeah, 100%. It's real now.
Yeah, it's a bad DP. Like it's basically
a bad DP. Good way of putting it.
It's an even worse DP from Street Fighter. It's an even worse reversal because you don't have frame 1 invincibility, but. It is now you need to use it because the pressure and the situations are so bad that you sometimes need to pull the trigger on this shit. 100%. And people are not even saying like, oh lol, he rage art. It's like, yeah, of course he rage art. Like,
But this goes back to this goes back to the answer to your question. Again, I don't agree with this. I'm just playing their side. It's because it's like, well, if the hype thing is the rage drive, then make more rage drive, right? And that's why they did it their way. But there's also, Shinpia asked a question earlier that I really wanted to get to, but I didn't want to interrupt you guys. He said, is high level play supposed to appeal to people that would never play? Right? And I had an answer that I wanted to present, and I wanted to hear your thoughts on this, right? A part of me wants to say no. But the thing is, I spent years watching Street Fighter 4 without playing Street Fighter 4. There is a large market for watching, for spectators. And so if they don't necessarily need high level play to appeal to short answer is yes, I think it does. I think they do want high level play to be appealing to watch, because then you can sell sponsorship, you can sell opportunities. Do you know what I mean? So I think the answer is yes. Whether I like that answer is a different question. Go on, let's hear it.
I just think it's no because Tekken 5 didn't. Oh, sorry, C4, did you want?
No. You go first. I'm thinking.
I say no because I bought Tekken 6 and Tekken 2 and I played those games and I haven't watched a single, before or after I bought them, haven't watched a single competitive game on YouTube or researched this. Tekken 5 sold, I think, over 11 million copies, and back then for sure as shit, no one watched any. The Tekken World Tour didn't even exist. It only exists since 2016 or something, or 2017 even, first Tekken World Tour. So I think it's complete bullshit. They have mind gamed themselves into believing that how the game is played on the highest level of play has any influence on a buyer's or a potential consumer's decision to buy the game. I think that is complete bullshit, and I don't know why they ever would think that. Because Tekken Tag 2 sold because it didn't sell, or well, I don't believe it was the game, it was the market, but nonetheless, it sold to the people who bought it because it had a lot of content, a lot of the critic rating back then for back when people still cared about video gaming press, Omega lol. The rating was amazing. The press loved the game, and these are all casual. These playtesters are not fucking insanely hard fighting game players most of the time, and they loved this game because of the sheer amount of content it had. And Tekken 5, it looks great. The ending, so many characters, so many stages. That is what the casual cares about. And again, I will die on that hill. They should have focused on that shit. They should have focused so hard on, bro, we have Unreal Engine 5. Shall we not make the most out of this customization system now with UE5 in place? You could maybe even change slight proportions of your character if you want to, or put more art into the game and more unlockables. That's where it's at. I will die on that hill. That how the game is played at the end of the day. That is nah.
Can I offer again? I know I want C4 to jump in, but I want to offer a slight counterpoint just to hear you rebut it. Do you not feel that because the landscape has changed, they aren't making money from arcades, right? This is games as service, right, as a model. So do you not feel that the competitive scene has now in the modern era perhaps plays a larger part in whether the game remains relevant, whether people want to keep playing it? Do you still say no, it has no bearing? Because you use an example, but I would argue that came from an arcade era. But would you say no, none of that has changed?
Yeah, I would still refuse to believe it, because except for the absolute major events now in the age of Twitch since 2015, except for the absolute major events like CEO, EVO, EWC, or the Tekken World Tour Finals, maybe actually, all of the tournaments I watch, they have 7,000, 10,000, 8,000, when everything goes well, 10,000 views over the platforms, which is nothing. This game sold over 3 million copies by now. It's stagnated, but no one is of the target of the audience they want to reach. No one is watching fucking competitive Tekken. No one is watching this except for us who are pissed. This is why the chat is always full of dogshit game, and not I don't see casuals in there saying, "Wow, it's amazing, amazing experience. This game looks so pretty." No, when I open a chat of the chat of a competitive tournament, of challenger event or master event, I only see people, bro, this shit again. Yeah, okay, let's go. That's all I'm seeing.
Yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I hate that you're right. C4. And again, you can expand that to not just Tekken, but do you feel that the tournament scene of a game has what impact do you think the tournament scene of a game has on the long-term success of that game? Does it have any? Is it not relevant? Is it nice to have? Yeah, because I want to hear bigger than Tekken. Yeah, exactly. Hey, exactly.
I want to be like Jordan Peterson, but I need to know what's supposed to mean here.
That's fair. That's fair. Define our terms.
Do you mean do devs intend? Is that what you mean by suppose? I guess
it's a good question. Well, I'll let Shimpy come back, but in the meantime, I'll give you one possible definition. Perhaps it's a case of should they care about should they care about what casuals think about the high level play? As in, will making high level play appealing to them lead to greater success in the long run? Greater sales, greater brand recognition, expand the market, expand their market share, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think maybe that's the definition. Like, if we take it that their goal is to make more people into Tekken players, should they then try to make high level Tekken look as cool as possible?
It's a bit difficult. I think of other sports. I don't really normally do this, but for an example, there's some sports where it's visually impressive.
Yes.
I would feel bad saying this, but it could be my ignorance, but that also proves my point.
Yeah.
If I look at something like basketball, I can see, that is impressive.
Yes.
That is appealing seeing someone dunk, someone get 3 points from like the half court line, whatever.
Sure.
But then I look at tennis and I'm like, well, I guess it's just about you're battling fatigue because it's hard to run up and down but hitting a tennis ball with a racket, it's not as appealing as something like basketball.
Sure.
You know what I mean, right? Not to shit on anyone who likes
no, but tennis. I know what you mean. But some sports are more popular than others. I know what you mean, and they look more exciting to more people. Yeah, I get you.
And then I look at something like KOF. Now, KOF is basically tap super. Same with like CVS2. Tap super, unless you've done it, is quite hard because there's no hit stop in the old games. You don't get hit stun like the same way. You get hit stun, but you don't get hit stop. A lot of modern games give you hit stop, so you get the hit stun. That might be 10 frames.
Yeah.
And then it gives you 5 frames of a window to buffer the super. So it's way easier. Without hit stop, it's super hard.
Yeah.
But visually, someone doing tap, literally mashing one button twice, then you see a super, doesn't look appealing. It's only appealing when you know how hard it is. The way that KOF tried to overcome that is like, we're going to make the supers look super crazy. Because that is the appealing part. Not the difficulty in doing the tap super, the animation of the super hit.
Right.
So I think about, do games that are games supposed to look appealing at high level? I'm like, well, I don't think that's the goal. Because optimal high level in some games looks boring. When we were talking about keep away, Korean backdash and away, when you got a life lead, doesn't look appealing, but it's the most optimal thing to do high level if you've got the life lead, is to avoid getting hit. So that's why the supposed to bit, it depends what the supposed to means.
Yeah.
I don't think it should. I think, and again, this might be my commentator brain, my job is to relay difficulty so it is appealing.
Yes.
Because visuals can't always do that. My job when I'm commentating the game is to be like, this is so hard, you have to appreciate it.
Yeah,
you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you can't do this, so you have to give flowers to the person doing this.
Yeah. And there's job. And there's a skill in that. Like you commentators are really good at at highlighting the decision making that's happening behind the scenes, and depending on the game, the more of the beauty that's hidden, the more that the commentators have to do the lifting, right? Like, a lot of Ares' power isn't just in Tekken. It wasn't just that he made funny jokes; it's that he was very good at just sort of being like, "You motherfuckers don't understand what he just did," right? And we'll be in round 3, and he'll still be yapping about the crazy thing that happened in round 2. But like, maybe you do it quickly, right? It's a great skill. Like, you do it too. Like all the best commentators do this. I think. I really. Succinctly articulating the skill that you can't see, and then helping you identify it in the following rounds. It's a great skill. It's very difficult to do. I think to go back to Shinpei, because I said I'd go back to his country. It's like, what is the objective of a pro scene? Is it to pull new people in, or is it to keep the current player base interested? I feel like you have to balance both. So, and that's actually a pretty good question. So what do you think is their goal? If we want to avoid the word suppose, what do you think their current objective is? Why make an esports league at all? Is it just peer pressure? You have to do it because everyone else is doing it?
Well, I mean, it is advertisement. I think most of the time it's actually a money loss for them. Like, it's literally marketing budget, right? Like, I think most of the times when no one has the numbers besides Namco Bandai, but I think I once saw like tournament organizers and like say that basically this whole world tour they are doing, that is part of the marketing budget of the advertisement budget. It is a net loss, so it's not for profit. They don't do this shit for profit.
Sure.
So they want that, but again, I just don't buy it. Like, I don't buy that this is like the craziest marketing thing. Like, people buy this shit because it looks good, because they see it on the store page. It has excellent rating. It looks amazing. The trailer looks good. Like, I don't know, man. When I started with Counter-Strike, Counter-Strike was always so much bigger than fighting games, like, obviously. And I played this shit for fucking a year without ever watching a DreamHack or a major in CSGO ever. And I just started with it because, well, honestly, because someone said, hey, you can gamble skins on that shit.
Nice.
That's why I started with it, to be honest. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I when you say like make shit visible, that's cool. I don't want to always jump around, but
no, go.
I thought when they, when you play Tekken 8 and they introduced cool sound effects and stuff to Wave Dash, where Reyna does electric.
The electric. Yep.
Like, why not do something where like side steps and the backdash gets like rewarded, where it's like a whiff animation, like a bit like the VF6 trailer.
I was gonna say there's a fighting game franchise that where they make a sound when you successfully sidestep a thing, but I didn't want to mention it.
Why not make defense cool? Why not, like, everyone loves, and there are probably games that C4 knows about that tried something like this. Everyone knows it's great, and they put so much work and effort into making people hit feels great, right? Making shit hit looks and feels insane. But in Tekken, when someone just whiffs a button in front of you, it looks really lame. It looks really lame. Yep. How can you maybe make defense? Can you maybe make this where people are like, whoa, this shit looks crazy sick? I mean, and honestly, Sekiro did it. Souls did it. Where everyone's like, whoa, this guy actually is just rolling around in iframes, but it looks kind of sick. It looks kind of sick. I want to play that.
I don't know.
C4, help me here. Man.
I'll give you an example, and then I'll tell you my answer, because my answer is probably gonna make people mad.
That's what you're here, bro.
Something you're talking about. Something cool in 2XKO. Finn might know this. Is when Blitzcrank whiffs a throw.
Yeah.
That's that. So for anyone who hasn't seen it, Blitzcrank is like a grappler, and he runs it. And when he whiffs the throw, question marks appear above his head, and he hugs the air. Like, it's very comically funny to look at. And people like to laugh at command grab characters missing command grabs, but they went the extra mile to be like, look, even the person who whiffed the command grab has to laugh.
Yeah. Pretty good,
bro. We have one move like
we have that. Is it Asuka? Is it Asuka's forward one? Yeah, I was gonna say I love the forward one. I don't know if you've seen it.
I love it as well.
But it's a big punch. It's like a big heavy plus on block punch. Leaves a guaranteed damage on hit. But if she whiffs, she almost topples over like whoa, literally comical, literally jump balancing on one leg, almost about to fall over. And it's excessive. It's an excessive animation, and I love it. It's actually one of my favorite animations in the game. And it's like you whiff. This powerful move.
Great.
Yeah, I would love to see more than that. Yeah, that'd be great.
For Tekken 9, give more moves a whiff animation where it's more recovery on it. Let the move be good let the move be good. Yeah. But if it whiffs, there's
you fucking die. You fucking die. Yeah. It's great. It's great. No, I know what you mean. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it would be good. It would be good. That is actually one of my favorite animations in the game. I love it. Because that move is so good. If you whiff, you should die. You should die. And you're minus a billion. It's who gives a fuck? But you shouldn't whiff this move. Yeah, no, that is good. That is good.
So my answer to the question.
Yeah.
What is the objective of the pro scene?
Yes.
To me, that isn't a question. It doesn't make sense. It's like, what's the meaning of life? Some people say, well,
how'd you mean it? Clarify immediately.
Competitiveness, to me, is a brute fact.
Okay.
As soon as you have an element of a person versus another person, and you put the element of time in there, it's competitive.
Sure.
And I think what happened is devs just tried to monopolize it for what we did. You can look at Pokemon.
Oh, okay. No, that makes sense. But then there is a purpose, because what you're saying is that the purpose is to control what would exist regardless.
No, it's a brute fact. It happens because you put people and time.
Sure.
It's like a formula. There's no objective. It's just when you connect people and time, something becomes competitive.
Sure.
Everything. bro, when was the
But
Mike
why do they
stream?
make it a world tour?
Yeah, but exactly. So it sounds like what
Because
you're
they don't want people because they know it's going to happen regardless. That's what I'm saying.
So they want to
The
control the
pro scene-
chaos. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Like this, I said it on Mike's stream, and he looked it up. I wasn't lying. There's pro pencil sharpening
I bet.
because there's an element of time and
Sure.
other people.
Sure.
Same with speed running. You think when they made Devil May Cry, they were going, well, maybe Devil May Cry is not a good example.
But yeah, I know what you mean.
Zelda.
But
That was never designed to be a speed run game.
Yeah.
It's a spectacle.
Yeah.
You're meant to enjoy the journey. But people
But the
speed run.
pro
Why?
pencil
Because you've got
stuff-
time and other people. So if you make a fighting game, you have that in your game. You have time and other people. So it's always going to be competitive,
Right.
which leads to pro players, people that are better than others. That's what pro means. It's just like, oh, someone who wins more than they lose. That's what a pro player is. That's a brute fact. It was always going to happen when you have a game. It's not a case of.
But I mean, it happened for 15 or 16 years until they said, "Hey, now the publisher comes in and makes it a official like world tour format." Like with pencil sharpening, is there like a pencil sharper manufacturer that comes in and says, "Make this a world tour"?
The big league, big
I
FIFA.
don't know. I don't look that deep in it. I assume not. But
I mean, it could be.
That'd be so good. Big FIFA. That'd be the best.
Well, to be fair, they've got cup stacking.
Yeah, why
There's
not?
definitely brands of cup stacking.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, but to summarize what you're saying, then you think that the primary reason is almost like a legal one. It's like, look, if these motherfuckers are going to compete, we need to be on. If we are on top of it, we can control it. Make sure these motherfuckers ain't ruining the brand and blah blah blah. So you think primary is control the messaging?
So there's a reason there's not an objective. The objective is that it's going to happen regardless. It's a
but that would still be an objective. Even if the objective is, hey, look, control the chaos that will happen because competitive will happen. So we're going to put our name on it. That's still an objective, right? I guess my question to you is like, do you think it's the primary objective? The primary objective is just like, look, if we don't have a world tour, people will still compete about it. And we'll have motherfuckers like we'll have Shinblade and Pokchop fucking just causing a scene, right? So we're going to go out here, we're going to put the tournament on, we're going to put the rules on so we can have some kind of control over the messaging. Do you feel like that's the primary thing and then any other goal is like secondary?
I don't know if I agree with that because Smash did the opposite.
Right.
Smash wanted no one to control it. Smash said, no, we want this game to not be competitive.
Yes,
and I'm like,
yes.
With the philosophy I have, it's like you've got a timer and you've got people.
Yeah.
It's going to be competitive.
Yeah.
You can't stop that. It's just what happens. It's H2O in water. Like, well, not H2O.
No,
Hydrogen in water.
I get
You can't stop it.
It's going to happen
I don't
regardless.
think the company deciding whether they want to control it or be like, I don't care what happens to it. I don't know if that is an objective. I think that's a case of, hey, we might be able to capitalize on it.
I mean,
we can sound the best at our game.
Sure.
Instead of the people doing it.
I mean, that does explain some of it, and that's definitely a part. But like, if that was truly your like primary concern, then you could just like, they could do it for a lot cheaper. They could just be like, we're not going to put any money into this. But at least you're going to make a contract. You cannot stream our game unless you do this, and they could do that with the terms and conditions. And then just
they
like,
did try.
Right?
Definitely trying to do that.
No, but that's my point though. That's what you do. If you just want to control the chaos, but you don't want to spend money on it, and you're not interested in marketing and blah blah blah, then you just be like, all right, here are terms and conditions. If you do all these things, you're all gravy. If you break these rules, you're done. Like, they could just do that, but they've clearly gone above and beyond that, right?
Then you kill your product, right? Street Fighter can't do that. They can't say, well, we're not going to do a pro circuit. No one can, because then you wouldn't have offline tournaments.
Okay.
That's what I mean. It's independent of choice. That's how I see it. There is no, should we do this or should we do that? It's like, this is happening. This is like, what's the objective of rain? Like, we don't have a choice in if it rains or not. It happens, and we can say this is what happens when it does rain.
Yeah.
But you have no control over the rain. You don't have control over competitive or pro scenes, in my opinion.
No, I hear you. Okay. No, that makes sense. Yeah. And I guess the final question, because I was meant to be playing VF, but I've just spent 2 hours having an impromptu podcast, so fuck me, I guess. But I guess my final question, and I want to hear both your thoughts on this, is like, okay, you are the developers of VF6, and the game is early enough in development that everything from core combat systems are still in flux, and marketing decisions are still in flux. That whether the world tour will happen, Even in fact, there's enough like there's even how much investment should be made in single player content. Blah 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 blah. From your perspective, what are because we can be here all day. But like, if you were going to be like, look, these are like the few things. Let's say 3 to 5 things. Like, we gotta nail this. This is what we're gonna do to avoid all the failures of, name them: DOA, Tekken A, the recent Mortal Kombat games. Like, learning from all the mistakes of the FGC, recent, present, and all the gripes of FGC players, or maybe ignore them. Maybe like, fucking, the FGC market doesn't know what it wants, right? What do you think is what they need to do in order to have any sort of success? Or to have the success that they want? I'd be curious to know.
I mean, the first order of the day I would hand out is that these motherfuckers in the dev bureau, under no circumstances, are supposed to go out to the press if they don't have anything to show.
Sure.
That's like one very important thing.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I would, what with VF6, when I watched the trailer and I saw this Akira guy, and I was like, yeah, it's a guy in a hat and a blonde lel. It's like, the character design still is a bit at a point where I'm like, I mean, it's no longer like polygons and shit. Like, you can try something a little bit more popping. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, I know it was just a trailer in this training mode stage, but when I looked at that character design, it's just, okay, a blonde and a guy in a hat. It's like, I hope. I know they want to stay like consistent and true to the roots. I get that. I hope that doesn't come back to bite them, because usually what happened, or what ended up happening, is that you see the Tekken roster and you're like, oh look, there's a guy with wings, there's a guy with like it's kind of recognizable. And when you have like the VF roster on a big collage photo, you're like, yeah, who are all these Melvins? You know what I mean? Like they kind of look like Melvins. I hope they nail that. I would say. This is something Mike has said countless of times, and I think you as well, but I don't know how to... I don't know if that is even feasible. Like, it would be amazing if it would be a game where you can say your friend, buy it for the single-player shit. Like, look him actually in the eye and tell him, bro, the single-player shit is amazing. Because, don't get me wrong, if you compare the World Tour mode in Street Fighter 6 to like an actual single player game, even from 15 years ago, if you compare that to Skyrim, it's a pure piece of dog shit. But it has enough going for it. It has a loot system, an equip system. It has an open world. There are missions. There is stuff to do. That I think that was a big selling point for casuals in Street Fighter 6. And you can meet up with your heroes in-game and, hey, Yuri will try to scam you. It's really funny, actually. This is what I remember from the World Tour mode. It even had something for me. I remember Yuri wanting to scam me over a phone, and that Dalsim's wife is surprisingly hot and he plays baseball. Right? I know that shit now. Because I was like, hey, this is cool. Sure. So if they managed and Tekken 8 story mode, bro, I don't fucking know. I don't remember anything. I remember that the game looked surprisingly bad in the forced Tekken Force mission in the Green Valley. It looked surprisingly bad. That is what I remember from the Tekken 8 story mode. So if they could nail a significant single player portion of the game where it's like, wow, this is actually very fun. Like, that would be the next step in fighting games, where it's like, do you have a really good fighting game basically attached to an incredible single player experience? Sure. If they could land that, amazing. Other than that, my bro, try to. This would already be a big plus. If you can make the netcode that good, that mainstream game journalists would like underline that. Like, if you make the netcode that good, that even mainstream journalists notice, then are like, wait a minute, am I even playing online? Like, this is like if you reach that, this would be also very good, even because this would lead to other fighting game players also be interested. By the pure fact, hey, the online in this 3D game is so amazing, because usually that's not the case, where maybe we even get other people interested, like, okay, the netcode is supposed to be like fucking mega insane. I want to experience this. Like, I want to experience how this feels. If they could nail that, and other than that, just customization is a big thing. I would say customization. You notice I didn't even yet say anything about the fucking gameplay or plus frames or anything, because if you have that, you would also get me if you have an amazing customization system. And I know that VF Showdown, the original version back then, had literally like single player unlockable cosmetics, if I'm correct, that you could equip to your characters. The original Showdown version. Like, if you bring this back, like, people love that shit. I love that shit, bro. I even played Tekken 7 dog shit treasure battle to get the casino thing with the boxes, and I get my item. Like, I even did that when I was a casual, when I was actually at the launch of Tekken 7 launch day, a casual. I did that. Like, why is that not in Tekken 8, for example? I don't fucking know. So that would be my very long drawn out recommendation.
No, that's fair. That's fair. C4?
No.
Thoughts? And advice for Sega?
I think they need to play dirty. They need to play so dirty. They need to give all the Tekken players a free copy of the game.
Oh,
that's what they need to do.
Spin.
If you have Tekken 8,
you get a discount.
Tekken 8 in Steam, you get like 30, you get like 50% discount.
Even if it's 15, even if it's like a small, relatively, even if it's like a 5%, just the audacity. Yeah. Oh, you spin. Oh, my God.
I'm not a person who likes people that prey on other people's downfalls, but with companies, it's different. They need to tap into the hate and that there's a big void in the 3D who's the best.
That's crazy.
And they need to convert people. Not only will you convert those people, they need to get people to care.
That's the craziest shit I've ever heard.
One of the things that I think Virtual Fighter has fallen off is because there's no crossover. I can't think of a Virtual Fighter player other than Reinhardt, and he's more of a Tekken person now and Street Fighter.
Yeah, sure.
I know he plays that game. When you have something like in Dragon Ball where Goichi, everyone knows Goichi from Dragon Ball, even though he played games before that.
Yeah.
But when Goichi plays City of the Wolves, the Dragon Ball people pull up to that's our Dragon Ball player.
I get you.
And Virtual Fighter doesn't have that. There is no person in the bracket. This happened like a week ago. I was commentating 2XKO offline. K-Wiss was there. I was like, all right guy, the Tekken guy, he's playing.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's any correlation between how he plays Tekken to this. And he played different to everyone else.
Sure.
That's cool. Virtual Fighter doesn't have, well, from my knowledge, it doesn't have that. So they need to give Tekken players to play their game. So Tekken fans can watch their favorite player play a different fighting game. I think it's going to be hard for them to make a game worse than Tekken 8, from what I've heard. And they need to springboard off of that. Maybe it can be. Tekken 8 sounds like a very bad game.
People care. It's so good.
It's a bad Tekken game. I'm not going to say pretend it's the worst game ever made, but it's like it's a bad Tekken game.
No, it's not. But it's a bad traditional Tekken game. Yes.
That's so interesting.
That's what they should do.
That's so interesting. I've not heard anyone say that. Now you said it, they have to do that. That'd be so fucked up.
Yeah, reminds me of when Billy Mitchell had this drama with Carl Jobs in the speedrunning thing, and Billy Mitchell won and said, "Hey, you can now use the code Carl Lost, the Lost hot sauce discount."
That's so funny. Bro. That's so good. That's so good. That's so good.
They've got to be petty, bro.
Sure.
The 50%. They should do 50% if you got a top 8 in Tekken. That would be gas. I would have watched that game.
That would gas. Crazy. Oh, that's really good. I've had similar thoughts. I guess I have a bunch of thoughts, but I'll keep it relatively short. One of them is inside the baseball. One of them is bigger and perhaps more important. The inside the baseball one is they need to stop trying to sell me on a 3-button game. They keep being like, oh, VF's so great. It only has 3 buttons. And I'm like, 3 buttons is super intimidating. I need more buttons. And I'll tell you this, even though I'm the biggest, outsider VF shill, if I couldn't bind additional buttons in this game, I'd have dropped it. I'm deadly serious. Like, some of these commands are fucking crazy. Like, P plus G, K plus G, P plus K plus G is even reading it, I'm like, what the fuck is that? Whereas in reality, I have a P plus K button, I have a K plus G button, and I have a P plus G button, right? And so actually having a sort of classic mode, which is just 3 buttons, but then having modern mode, which is the exact same game, but presents it as a 6-button game, because most people will be playing on some sort of device that has more than fucking 3 buttons. We're not on the Mega Drive anymore, boys. I think that's an insider baseball thing though. That's actually you're already in if you care about that shit. The biggest one I care about is actually going back to what Finn said earlier, which is like, this game needs to be single player, 50 hours of great gameplay. I need to be able to take Vanessa on a date personally. Like, I need to be able to create like my own character and who doesn't know any martial arts and then has to go fucking learn from Akira, learn from Leifei, learn from Brad, learn from all these people. I need to, yeah. Watch Street Fighter World Tour, but even more deep, right? Use the RGG fucking Yakuza style thing. I need to be able to fight against other people's things online, not in like tournaments or whatever, but in online situations. Needs to be a fucking Persona style story mode. Dialogue choices. I need an RPG because it needs to sell you not only on the fighting game, of course, which I'm confident if they just make 5 again mechanically, they'll be fine, right? But like, you need to sell me on the universe. Why do I care about this universe? What's happening in this world is interesting.
With Tekken, I'm used to it, but with VF, I'm not.
I don't know anything.
I'm used to the characters in Tekken, but with VF, I'm not.
And I think it's a weird example, but like the example that comes to mind is John Wick, right? The reason I say this is because when you watch the first John Wick film, you are immediately introduced to this universe of crime and assassins and the Continental, which has its own rules and its own currency. Like, oh, there's a massive world here that John Wick is just one part of. And of course, in the subsequent sequels, we learn more and more and more. It's very fascinating. So much so that I'm very fascinated in the world. And they basically need to give me a John Wick style story where I am a character in this secret world of Kung Fu. All these masters, right? And I agree with what you said. Like, if I can tell people, like, hey, look, this is an amazing like combat action RPG that happens to have a competitive fighting game on the side. Like, I actually think that's the route we need to go down, right? Which sounds crazy, right? But like, us fighting game players actually don't need much to be satisfied. It's getting the casuals to care that is the harder part. So if you give me a solid fundamentals, but you have this really fun story mode that even if I never go online, I get 50 hours of just great gameplay. And also the game is also teaching me how to play it. Like, it's teaching me how to guard, teaching me how to guard break, teaching me blah, blah, blah. Like, so that I think, I do think that is the move. They need to pivot from, well, let's make a fighting game with single player modes. I actually think the ratio almost needs to be, we need to make an amazing single player game that has an online fighting game on the side. Like, I genuinely think that's the pitch that you need to make. Like, I genuinely think it's that big. I think that's where we need to move to. I
underestimate this, right? Because I actually, I underestimate this completely. I know Jin Kazama from the hair alone, but from the Virtua Fighter characters, I don't know anything about. Like, nothing. No. They have there is no connection. Mm-hmm. And the only reason I care about Dalsim is because I know through the World Tour mode that his wife is hot and makes it damn good. Like, no,
but it's true, because people care. People care. Like, you need to care. You need to emote about the world you're in. And like, people, they have no reason to care. And like, I've read the story, but the story I've read is like from online articles. Like, it's never in game, right? And there's definitely some fascinating stuff going there. But let me play it. Let me meet these people. Let me learn from these people. Let me see the heroes. Let me see the villains. Let me like become an apprentice to these motherfuckers. Let there be a conflict that I choose who wins. And then I get to choose a side. Like, make there be a fucking VF Civil War, and you get to pick a side. Like, make it interesting, right? As I can debate my friends. Who do you side with? Oh my god, you sided with Sarah Brand? You fucking crazy? Nah, man. I fought it with Jackie. Like, you have discussions, right? I think they need to go in that direction. And again, given the developers, it's definitely possible. Whether they will do that, I don't think so. I'm increasingly worried that Sega's going to cheap out. But we'll see. I keep getting mixed signals because on one hand it's like, well, Nvidia's involved, so they're definitely going to get in bed. But at the same time, it's like, but Sega's involved. Sega. Modern Sega. So we'll see. But yeah, that's my thinking. But yeah, in terms of marketing, being aggressive and being like, Tekken, if you have Tekken, you get a discount. That's wild. That's so good. That's so good. That would be so good. Individual. No, because the thing is, that would make everyone look. Like, even people who had no interest in Virtua Fighter, if they were like, I get 10% off.
If you guess right.
That'd be so crazy. Like, if you guess right, you have to guess a 50. You have to do a coin flip on the Steam store. Yes, right. That'd be so funny.
I actually didn't think about what you said, Chad, because every game I like, it is about the world. Yeah, I just never thought about Virtua Fighter. I don't know anything about Virtua Fighter. But I know why I like the Marvel games because I read comics. I know the lore. You do. You need to be emotionally invested, and VF needs to assume it's starting from ground zero. Assume that no one knows any story, even if they do. Just assume no one knows it. This is the introduction. And again, that's why I didn't know there was a character called Vanessa. I remember I did a quiz. I tried to do a quiz like every year, and one of the questions is name a character that has the same name in 2 different games. I didn't know there was a Vanessa in Virtual Fire because there's one in KOF.
Damn, that's so crazy.
Yeah,
you got called out. Now you know. No, it's yeah. We definitely need that. We definitely single player. They've definitely got to focus in on that. And yeah, we'll see if they do it though. We'll see if they do it.
I mean, at least customization, like rival Tekken on that shit.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, for sure. Customization's a big thing, but I think go deeper. Let me create a character. I think letting me create a character in Street Fighter is so powerful, and I've thought this for years because I'm a big RPG fan, and if there have been many times where I've seen an RPG and it's like, oh, I have to play as an already made character. Ugh, I'm not into it. And I know that's not necessarily a good thing because obviously, like The Witcher 3, for example, is a great game, right? You have to play as Geralt, right? So like obviously with good writing, you can be whatever. But I much prefer like let me make my Skyrim character, let me make my V in Cyberpunk, let me make my whatever. It does a lot for emotional investment right off the bat. And it will go a long way to getting younger people and new people into the franchise. And also,
and something like if they
go on,
if they could. But I mean, that is always a lightning in the bottle. But if they could get their Gwent, because Witcher had Gwent that everyone loved, and Street Fighter 6 has what you said. I can create my character and I can versus with him against other people, and I know for a fact that there are a shit ton of people in the lobby who play.
They just play that mode. Yeah, I see it all the time.
That.
Yeah. They love that shit. They're like, I'm not gonna win Evo. I'm not gonna I'm gonna beat Daigo. But like in this, I'm a level 99 demon. I got the most fucked up moveset you ever seen in your life. Is it balanced competitively? No, but I'm gonna kick your ass here. No, 100%. That's super important. And that means a lot to people. People get emotionally invested in that shit. I know I do. Because I would love to be able to tell that, pick up this game, you got 50 hours of gameplay guaranteed, even if you never go online. And if you do, and also there is Tekken kind of recognizes this. In order to turn people into competitive gamers, you kind of need them to win a bunch first and then lose. And so the great thing about a story mode is you can obviously be a bunch of CPUs and like you think you're nice. I don't know if it's then you go online and get smoked, right? But you need to have that period where you think you're nice. And having a good story mode, a good 50-hour story mode, I'm getting good at this game. I'm getting pretty like having that is really important, I think. So yeah, we'll see. And it seems like
it would be great if they could do it because MK9 I got as a kid. I shouldn't have, by the way, but my parents I tricked my dad into buying it because it doesn't matter. But I never played it for that long, but it stuck with me because the story is fun, the characters are fun, and then you have this whole the crypt. And like, what you mean? I can go into this crypt even as a level and just unlock things here? That is cool. Like this type of shit would I think go a long way. Tekken always. What annoys me about Tekken is that they don't do anything with it. Like you have all these titles and emblems and meaningless titles that you don't care about, but if you would actually make that shit unlockable, cool titles and cool decoration like through challenges and unlocks in the game, and they look also like really good, and you can customize them to a certain degree. It's also like potential that they don't use because how many people say I only log into Tekken to play it for a week when the new battle pass drops, which is unlockable.
I'm guilty of this. Like you know how much I hate the game, but I'm like, what am I going to do? Not do the battle pass? Fuck it. I'll do quick play. I'll play them. I'll go into the lobby once to get my weekly. You walk into the lobby. Yeah, I'll do it. 100%. Well, we want to see the bars go up, bro. We want to see the bars go up. So 100%. That's a really good point. Yeah, battle pass type shit is really important. And yeah, I mean, again, people talk a lot about tutorials, and I want to put something out on the radar. And I don't know, so I didn't play Tekken Tag, right? I did own Tekken 6. I didn't play Tekken Tag, and I think one of the most important questions that Tekken devs need to ask, but also fighting game developers have to ask, is why did Tekken Tag fail, right? Because Tekken Tag was such a labor of love, right? It really was. Like they really did put so much love behind it. They didn't want to sell you anything. It was all in the game, like. There was really labor love, and they got fucking murdered for it, right? And that must have done some real psychic damage to them as a company, right? And I want to put my I want to put my hat into the ring, right? Because I owned Tekken 6. I love Tekken 3. I knew the Tekken franchise. I liked fighting games. At this point, I was watching Mike Ross and Gutex, right? So I was a fighting game guy. I was the target market for Tekken Tag. I didn't buy it, and the reason I didn't buy it is actually because of what I'm saying now. I remember watching trailers like IGN reviews or whatever, and they said that there was no story mode in Tekken Tag. Now you have to remember, I'm a casual online fighting isn't really for me. I'm not going to tournaments. And I remember being like, oh, okay, well I already have Tekken 6 then. There's nothing new here, right? There was no advancement in the story. There was nothing. It's like, oh, but there's all these customizations. Yeah, but I'm just gonna fight. Well, if I'm just gonna fight, I have Tekken 6. I have Tekken 6.
Yeah.
Right? I don't need it for anything else. And so unless I was in the competitive meta of fighting other people, which I was not, right? There was no reason to buy Tekken Tag. And I let that game die. And knowing what I now know, I'm like, fuck, that really just suck. But like, it goes for me. And again, I don't know how many other people were like this. But I think a lot of people pass on Tekken Tag because they're like, oh, it's Tekken 6 again. And it was
sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, right? Because with Smash it kind of worked out, right? Smash Melee doesn't have a real story mode, but it just worked. Yeah, it's a different. I don't know. There's something to what you say because Tekken started with story mode, Melee basically didn't, or Smash didn't. So in Smash it kind of works because it's just this cool playground and all of your favorite characters. I mean, you probably can't compare this.
But hang on, but it was a new system though. Wasn't the new Smash on a new system?
Melee,
yeah. So like the first Smash on a new system, you probably get a pass, right? The same way actually that Tekken Tag 1 was actually the new one on a PlayStation 2. Whereas the thing is, Tekken Tag was on the same system as Tekken 6, correct?
Yeah.
So
and Tekken 5.
Yeah, so my point was I already have Tekken. I don't need it. I didn't need to do quote unquote upgrade. It didn't seem like an upgrade. Now I recognize that it was. There was so much love there. But you had to be inside baseball to really appreciate that. If you were a filthy casual like me, I'm like, there's nothing here. Whereas if if you had been like, no, there's the Mishima saga continues, I'd have been like, I'm in. I'm in.
You're right. This is why I said now I have to take your point into consideration, but I said with Tag 2 it's the market. Everyone played Battlefield, everyone played COD. This game came out at the end of the console generation. I think, to my knowledge, people already knew that 1 year later, the PlayStation 4 is going to release. 1 year. Who gets a fighting game now where it's only customization and fight, as you said? But if Tag 2 would have been slightly better looking, or let's say a bit significantly better looking, and it would have been a launch title for the PlayStation 4.
Different story. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. People go, oh, it's the new Tekken game on the new system.
It's unfortunate how it went with Tag 2. It's so unfortunate.
But what's most unfortunate is less what happened with Tekken Tag 2, but the lessons they learned from it, right? Because it quote unquote taught them, oh well, we need to simplify the game. Because I hear too many people being like, oh, Tekken Tag failed because it was too difficult.
That's bullshit.
It's complete bullshit. But I hear it often touted as like a truism, as if
it's from almost people who never played this game. I think. Honestly.
It's more than that. It's more. The vast majority of people never get to never indulge in the most difficult aspects of any fighting game ever. Like ever. That's not the issue. Yeah. The issue was like, what is there for a scrub like me to do? And the answer in Tekken Tag was die. like die to Eddie's back 4-4. Like okay, cool. That doesn't sound fun.
Yeah,
but if there's a story,
but you're right. No one looks at fighting games and is like, oh, that looks difficult. No, that's not. If you make a fighting game where the first impression of like my mom or my brother or like my whatever classmates, if they look at the trailer and they think to themselves, that looks difficult. Like you like I don't even like how you manage that. Like that is an achievement if that is what people take away from it. Like
it's true.
Nah.
That's it needs to be cool. But yeah, thank you. I've taken up too much of your time already as it is. Thank you, motherfuckers. This was only meant to be like a 5-minute chat, but I appreciate you guys. It's always fun going deep. But yeah. No worries. I'm gonna leave you guys.
You still streaming?
I am still streaming. What's up? No, I was gonna end the stream in a bit because I've been on for like 3 hours. But why? What's up?
Okay, I'm gonna jump out and I was gonna ask you a question. Do you think there's enough space for 2 3D games to be at the top? Because I'm thinking of tag games. And I think Marvel Tokon and 2XKO are going to be equally like the tag games. So I was going to say, do you think that's the case? That could be the case for Tekken and Virtual Fire.
No,
I don't want to be here in the VC to hear it.
Oh, you don't want the VC to hear it? No, I think Tekken will always be always is too strong. But for the foreseeable future, absolutely will always be the most played 3D fighting game. The question is not will Virtua Fighter have more concurrent players? The question is, will it have a large enough concurrent player base of its own, and will it have enough to have a sustained player base? Because right now the VF player base, for example, it's too small. It's just way too small, right? And so will it have a sustained player base? And that to me is the stakes. It's how much of the pie is Virtua Fighter going to eat? And I think it could eat a lot. I think it could eat a lot if it comes out being real. But I think Tekken will always do better just because it has the brand recognition. Everyone knows what a Tekken is. You know what I mean? Everyone and their grandma knows what a Tekken is. I don't know that a Virtua Fighter, I don't know that it's possible for any fighting game, frankly, to come out and to usurp Tekken and Street Fighter, regardless of quality, right? Like, most of us recognize that Street Fighter 5 was a bad Street Fighter game, but it still outperformed pretty much every other fighting game.
Oh yes.
Like, because it's still Street Fighter, do you know what I mean? Like, it's the quality be damned, right? It actually reminded me of thought I had a while ago when you made the C4, you made the sport analogy, and you talked about some sports are more interesting to watch than others. I wanted to count, well, not really counter because I agree with you, but to point out that there are some sports that are really exciting to watch, but no one fucking watches them because there isn't a culture of watching them. Like, I don't know if you've ever watched volleyball. Volleyball is super exciting as a sport.
That's it. It's actually sick.
But as a culture, we don't watch volleyball. We don't have volleyball teams. And so we don't really watch it. Meanwhile, a sport like cricket, which is way less exciting than volleyball ever has been, but cricket has a culture, especially here in the UK somewhat, but especially in Asia and in the West Indies. A lot of the popularity of the thing isn't just the quality of the thing, but also the culture that exists around the thing. And I think Street Fighter
football
has
the same.
exactly.
Football is actually more of the culture.
It's way more of the culture, way more. And so, the point is, Virtua Fighter can come out and be a superior 3D fighting game than Tekken. Doesn't matter because Tekken is still Tekken.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It'll do more, right? Same way a 2D fighting game can come out and be better than Street Fighter. Doesn't matter. Street Fighter is still going to outdo it in the 2D space. It is what it is.
Even though they have throw loops,
it is what it is, right? You're just gonna have to hold that. So yeah, that's my point. And I just wish that game developers didn't squander that. You know, Tekken doesn't rest on its laurels.
I hope that doesn't happen, man, because I want I hope I'm right, because I think there is space for 2 or more. But I hope I don't get this really dark awakening with VF6 that the game comes out. I probably will get it unless something insane happens with the marketing or trailers. We're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I will get it, but I hope I don't have this rude awakening of playing it, thinking like, hey, that is like really cool. Like, I really enjoy this. And then getting hit suddenly by the reality of fighting games, which is, unless you're Tekken or Street Fighter, chances that you will be a Discord fighter is pretty high. And then suddenly I'm like, wait, this game is amazing. And then I look at the Steam charts. I'm in ranked queue. I don't find anyone for 20 minutes. I'm like, wait, what is going on? And I see, what? This game only has 500 people playing right now? Yep. Like, how? What? I hope this doesn't happen, man. Yep. I don't.
No, but it absolutely can. It absolutely can. And I think the best thing to think about is the trajectory of Soul Calibur. I think Soul Calibur, to answer your question, is the best example of this. Soul Calibur is a franchise that is well loved, right? Most people, I don't think anyone who's played the Soul Calibur doesn't like Soul Calibur, right? But every time Soul Calibur comes out, everyone buys it. Everyone plays it for a few weeks, and then eventually the Street Fighter players go back to Street Fighter, the Tekken players go back to Tekken, and then the dedicated Soul Calibur lot is always a subset of the Tekken number. Do you know what I mean? Always, right? And now, to be fair, the last time this was tested was with Soul Calibur 6 and Tekken 7, and Tekken 7 was fire. So it would be interesting to know, okay, but what if a new Soul Calibur came out and Tekken 8 was trash? Then what would happen, right? Would there be a sizable shift? Because the truth is, I think most people only have space in their life for one forever game, right? They only really have space in their life for one fighting game that they play every day, or even in most days a week, right? And that's kind of the core issue. So everyone will I think a lot of people will pick up VF. But the question is, okay, it's been a long day at work and I'm going to play 3 hours of a fighting game. Which one am I going to boot up? Is it going to be Tekken 8 or is it going to be VF6 or whatever, right? And I think that's a tough question, right? And a lot of it comes down to the culture. What game is or your friends playing? It very much is winner take all in many ways.
They have just copy what Strive did. Because Strive did it. No one cared about Guilty Gear before Strive.
That's a very good point. Yeah, Strive. Yeah, it did make its own culture, but did it not? You can speak to this with more authority. Did it not almost have to bury the old culture though to do it? in some ways, right?
The community did the new community for Strive discarded the old ones, and I would probably to this day say like it's fair enough because what Guilty Gear like before Strive, I would give someone my mortgage to show me someone who dressed up as May for Halloween. Now that's happening. People are dressing up as characters from Guilty Gear
100%.
or Halloween.
Yeah, it's true.
If you can't go a day without someone talking about it, might be controversy most of the time, but they're talking about Strive.
Yeah, no, 100%.
People are having like
real
debate about the law.
No, sure.
Guilty Gear.
I have a lot of friends who call themselves gamers who would not be able to name a single Guilty Gear character, but now they know a Bridget, they know an Eno. So yeah, I know what you mean.
I hope they just do that. I hope Virtua Fighter can just do whatever Strive did and be like, okay, we've got history, but now this is your time. For anyone who's like coming into Redefining games, you have a home, as if this is this can be your like starting point.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, until now,
like the previous Virtua Fighters.
Yeah,
because Tekken does not have that. Tekken, you have to play the old ones to even be acknowledged as a Tekken head.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, that is actually fine. Bro, we are just real hard elitists. Like, it's fucking actually insane. And you only can get that if you now play through Tekken 8 and you're in Tekken 9. Then you can say, yeah, I'm
but no one takes. But that's always been the recurring joke. The recurring joke is no one gets godlike in their first Tekken game. Like, that's the recurring joke. I remember people saying that in Tekken 7. Like, when I was first learning Tekken 7, it's like, how do I get good? It's like, you won't be. You'll be good at Tekken 8. Like, I remember people saying that, and when Tekken 7 first came out, Eris was saying that, and it is what it is.
Crazy
bro. But that's but the thing is, it's not even gatekeeping. It's not even like I'm making a judgment of it. Like, no, that's the nature of the game. Like, because you have to learn all of these strings for all these characters, and be able to do it without thinking, and be able to break throws. Like, these are all skills. It's like learning a language. Like, it's dumb. If you want to be nice in this game, if you want to be able to make a stink, like if you want to get top 8, like you're not making top 8 in this game in your first game. You just not. And from everything I saw, he was kind of spin. Very funny.
When C4 said that, right, with the old community, new community stuff with Guilty Gear, right now, from every impression I got from reading and listening to the VF team, is they want to do the exact opposite.
That worries me. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I'm worried. Because to be fair, they know that they have a player base who's been loyal as fuck, and they want to honor them. But at the same time,
I think honestly, that is like, because I felt like, I have to be honest, everything I heard when I listened to their words, and I'm like, it doesn't seem you speak to me right now.
Right, you're speaking to the 6 people who play the game.
You speak to literally the one guy in the crowd, or the 2 guys in the crowd who actually played, like, I don't know, Showdown back then or something. It's like, I didn't feel spoken to, and they also they underlined this with, I think they literally said, like, yeah, we want to respect the roots and the identity of the game and what Virtua Fighter is, and yada yada yada. And I'm like, I don't like, why would you though? Like, why would you, if you basically always did that, and that led you to having to try to re-release the game 4 or 5 times? No one showed up for it time and time again. Like, why would you hang on to that? I just don't like. I don't get it. Like, and you know the Virtua Fighter crew and the community better, Chad. Like, why? What? Why?
I think it's because the VF. I'm not just saying this to Glaze, except for VF Reddit, because fuck VF Reddit. But the VF community is actually one of the most awesome communities I've ever seen. There's many things about the community that I think suck, but it's nothing to do with personality. I think it's a very introverted. I have this theory that different hobbies tend to attract different types of people, right? I've mentioned karaoke multiple times. Like, the only people that go to karaoke are like people who are down to have fun and look silly, right? And a VF, in, like, you can't go to karaoke and try to be cool, right? Like, so my favorite people. How do I put this? Karaoke selects for my type of people, and VF is similar in that VF, I find, selects for very introspective people who are like, they don't really care about doing what's popular, right? but they like really well designed systems because it's a really good system mastery type game. It's a lot of fun, and I think because the player base there is a player base that is loyal. Sega rightfully is like, we want to do right by them. That shouldn't be their only goal, and arguably shouldn't even be their main goal. But it makes sense that when they're so early in development, that they want to be like, you guys, we hear you, and we're not going to do anything that's going to throw you off. Now, here's the thing. I do think you can have your cake and eat it too, right? Because again, right now it's just messaging. I think it's important. I think it's important to say, we're not just going to revolutionize everything. Whole new thing is like, no. We have not forgotten what makes VF. A lot of fighting game developers have forgotten what makes their game their game. We are not like them. We remember. And I think there is actually something very appealing to that, even to people who don't play VF. And I've played a lot of people who don't play VF, but they hear the way people talk about VF and they go, I want to get into VF. I've heard a lot of people like that.
It is appealing to me, but the last time I heard this, every time I hear this, the problem is we end up with a good game that no one plays. And this is also not the answer.
But we've also said that a large part of the reason why people don't play is not because there is something wrong with the combat system. A large part of the reason people don't play is because it looks old and it's trying to parrot like old movies with old movie sound effects and like old arcade design elements. And like that stuff can all be changed at a whim, right? And like, again, a lot of what we talked about today is the fact that Tekken has taken the wrong lessons from its failures, right? And I think whenever you fail, there are multiple ways you can interpret the failure. And I like the fact that VF is basically saying there is nothing wrong with what's in the kitchen. Like there's no the combat system is the one thing we got right. Everything else is changed.
Okay, I see what you mean, because in my ears it sounded like they said there's nothing wrong with the dish.
No,
and I don't want
the dish. It's like, no, I don't think that that's not how I read the message. But although to be fair, that's what you heard, and they clearly need to message more clearly. I think what I heard is that they realize that VF needs to change something in order to appeal to a new generation. We all recognize that. But what they're signaling is that we are not under the illusion that what has to change is the combat system. The combat system is hot. What needs to change is the way Wolf looks. So he has a new design now. The music style. What needs to change is all this stuff. But what needs to stay the same, ain't no one coming into this game with a fucking weapon. No one. Right? It's going to be... So they're signaling... Again, they're signaling what will change and what won't change. And so far, what they've said, again, words are easy, everything they said is spot on. Because I think their assessment is correct, right? They haven't done the Tekken thing where it's like, our game was too complicated, so we need to simplify. Like, no, that was never the issue. That was never the issue. Virtua Fighter's issue has always been aesthetic and narrative. It's always been the issue. And I think they get that. And they are a company.
Even main men acknowledge that.
Yeah, totally. Eventually. But like, so, and I think that's what that's how I took it. But again, words are cheap, right? And again, I have mixed feelings about this. And like you said, their last marketing outing was really,
that is bad.
It was really bad, but it was more bad just because it showed a lack of understanding. Because again, it goes back to what you were saying, like, okay, but who is this for? Because the only people who are going to appreciate this are like nerds like me, but I'm already sold. You don't need to appeal to me. I'm sold. You need to appeal to like Maximilian dude. A Maximilian dude is watching him and like, what the fuck is this? Do you know what I mean? Like Maximilian dude is like the perfect candidate because he plays fighting games and he has a respect for Virtua Fighter. Most fighting game players have a respect for Virtua Fighter, even if they never want to play it themselves, right? And so it's like, so you need to make him think it's cool, right? And so I'm like, what is this? The fact that you were unable to tell that this would be poorly received.
Yeah, I was really watching it, and I was like, okay, but the thing is, the fact that I am already watching means I am basically sold. I'm sold. On your shit.
You don't need to. Yeah, this is not. Yeah.
This shit needs to be. What you're showing here needs to have a pop and an oomph. That what you're showing here, people are so interested in this, or I am so loud about this. Suddenly, me as actually a Tekken player is so loud about this that I put this shit on Twitter, and suddenly it gets like millions of views. Like, look at this shit. But what you have done is you have just paused the trailer at certain points and talked about abstract concepts that I understand. I understand what you mean by that. but I'm already here.
So
for
yeah,
the show.
it pisses me off so much. It reminds me a lot, again, not to get political, but it reminds me so much whenever I'm watching any sort of political broadcast, whether it's like left wing or right wing, where it's like they're clearly talking to the base, and I'm like, all right, cool. Well, this is a waste of everyone's time, because everyone in this auditorium already agrees with these premises. So I'm like, why are we here? We're wasting everyone's time. Anyone who's interested in knowing the frame data or whatever is already sold. So like, this could have been an email. That was my recurring comment in the chat. Like, this could have been an email. This whole thing could have been a 5-minute YouTube video. We didn't need this.
It's unfortunate because at this point, like, you had everyone. Everyone was like,
yep,
bro, I see the motion. I see the character models. I saw the first demo. Bro, I'm here for it. Now, like, now put the condom on. You know what I mean? Like, now you know what I mean? Like, let's now for real show me something here. Like, you have everyone's attention right now, but it's like you basically. It's not the end of it, but in that moment, they basically went on stage and they bombed.
No, totally. They totally bombed. But the thing is, as is often the case, it was a bomb on one level, which magnifies a lot. Basically, they knew. How do I put this? They set up a presentation. And when you're setting up a presentation, there is an expectation that comes with that. If they said, hey, this is a 10-minute video where we are going to go over the trailer in detail, if they had announced that up front, that would have been great. The problem is that they set it up with the expectation of, we're going to see new shit. And then they only showed us old shit. And then at the end, they were like, oh, we have something new for you. And we all got excited. And it was like 2 seconds of someone walking. And we were like, are you shitting me? Like, it was, they set up the wrong expectations. Whereas ironically, if they showed everything that they showed, but their expectations were set correctly, hey, we're going to go over the trailer you've seen already in detail, we'd have been happy.
I am the guy, right? Because you are going to buy it anyways. C4 is going to buy it anyways because he's a commentator. Like, he's just going to buy it fucking anyways. But I am actually the guy who, I'm not a commentator. I'm not a VF guy yet. I'm the Tekken guy who is like,
no, but you're a target demo. You're 100% target demo. Yeah.
I am the guy, and I'm there for it. And it's like, it's I don't know why they do it. I don't know why Tekken does it with the patch, where it's like, this could have been literally a tweet. Mm-hmm. Why are you announcing this in-game, the recent patch? Mm-hmm. Why are you announcing this in-game if that is, like, this looks bad, you know? It's like, I don't know. It's like setting up a great date, and then it's just your girlfriend's parents are showing up. It's like, come on, like I was expecting a date here. Yeah. It's like, just inform me of this. Yeah. And I don't get fighting game communication. I just don't get it.
I do get it. I've worked in marketing departments before. And the thing you have to understand is that people who work in marketing departments aren't necessarily gamers, right? And so even though it's their job to understand them, I can totally understand how a 45-year-old... No, fuck, what am I talking about? I can understand how a 55-year-old marketing manager from Sega who was an intern back in the fucking N64 magazine era, right? I can imagine how he can convince a bunch of people like, hey, look, you're gonna go through a trailer on this stage and people are gonna get hype. Because there was a time where that was true. They just haven't caught up to the fact that this isn't true now. Sega is... Japanese companies in general are guilty of this, right? There's a lot of love about Japanese companies, but I think they are... When they innovate, they are incredible, but they innovate late. Very often. They're often the last to innovate, but then when they do, they blow your fucking socks off, right? And so it's like, this to me seems like old Japanese man marketing decision. And like, I can see how decision gets made. And then you know that there are 20 and 30-year-olds in the room being like, Adachi-san, I'm not sure that's a good idea. But you're gonna question the boss? You're gonna question the boss? No. Yeah. You do it. He signs your paychecks. You do what you have to do.
It's really funny because in one thing in this whole marketing thing, they completely understood it, because the very first thing, or almost the very first thing, like they understood it. The very first thing with the Akira goes into a street. Fade to black. You see the not
you dare question Adachi-san?
Visible TV screen with the gameplay. You got me right there, Chief. And then next thing that drops is this hyper realistic, insane graphics. Jackie Chan choreographed it. Yeah, I know it's like mocap or like in engine or in graphic simulation, but bro, you did that part really well, because now you motherfucking have my attention, bro. Like, you really have my attention now. And now there is like, the attention was at the highest peak with that shit, where people were like, oh my god, this looks crazy good. They have to be a bit careful. I already said they have to be a little bit careful with that one, because most people, normal people on Twitter, will not understand that this is like a concept in-engine demonstration, or like in the graphical, simulation and demonstration. But you have everyone's attention right now. Everyone will forget about it if it doesn't look exactly like in this basically trailer, or like a cutscene. Let's call it a cutscene. Everyone will forget about that part. But now you have everyone's attention. Now make it click. Yeah. And it seems, honestly, to me, it seems they have blown the lid, or like they have dropped the bomb too fast here, because it's already so, like, what is it, chat? It's now like, how long ago is this now? Like 8 months since we saw the
approaching a year, yeah.
Almost a year ago, right? Almost a year ago, we saw the amazing trailer where everyone was like peak interested, and the follow-up doesn't happen, and now we are at a point where we are sitting in a weird room and getting a slow presentation with Tokido acting like he's interested.
I mean, to be fair, Tokido is a player. You talking about crossovers before. He did play back in the day, but obviously he's more relevant Street Fighter now by a mile. But the thing is, the thing for me personally, this is something that really concerns me. I am cynical when it comes to you. If you show me a trailer and there's no gameplay, I don't want to see it, because you might as well just be a dream, right? I'm at the stage now where I don't talk to me until I see a match played. Like with player 1, player 2, I see what it looks like with the health bars going up and down or going down. Like, I need to see it in the game, because I'm like, it's very easy to make a fucking game looking video. But like you said, one of them was a straight up choreography from a Jackie Chan scene. Okay, that's what you want to do. Okay, cool, easy to do. How do you actually make that as a? Sorry, I was just watching the gameplay. How do you
playable experience?
Yeah, how do you make an actual playable experience? Like, I need to see what that feels like, and if they don't do it, I'm done. That's what I do.
And I think they are letting the ball like rolled really fast, and it slows down now. I think this is really dangerous. Like, I actually think this is like really dangerous. Suddenly it's weird. Suddenly it's the thing we don't want to see. Like, don't tease me with a guy walking in a street at the end of this presentation.
Bro,
we have a little something.
Don't waste my time.
I'm
like,
motherfucker, I didn't even yet see the gameplay. Why are you teasing me some?
But you know what the irony is? Again, I'm about to be a hypocrite, right? There are 2 types of trailers you can do. Give me in-depth a match of 2 people playing, and if you're not ready to do that, then release more of what you did with the Wolf trailer, which was like a fucking narrative style, sell me on the personality of the game. This is Wolf, right? Fucking from this stock stage. You can do that. If you're not ready to show me gameplay, sell me narrative, right? You can do that, right? Isn't that? But like, you can't just be like, here's the kind of like fucking super rough. Don't give me that. No. I already know what you're going for now. Just do the narrative stuff. This is a Stellar trailer. This is the new Blaze. This is the new whatever. This is what we're going for. Just give me that shit. But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, this time I have to go.
I just hope it doesn't go like to sleep, and suddenly people don't really care about it anymore. Like, the attention span to make the attention span of the masses you to a certain extent need to reach to make this game actually a success, and like you said, have a viable player base that I can just tell my friend, hey, get the game, you can play, we can play, doesn't matter, but you will find people. Like, I really would hate if this game, has the launch of come on, like for example, and we had this with Fatal what was it called, Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves, right? Like, I would hate for that to happen. And they also had money. They also had a budget. They even did this marketing trick of like, season 1 of DLC is part of the base game. Like, nah, it's the base game, motherfucker. It's not part of the base game. It is the base game. Like, they even pulled this marketing trick, right? Where like season pass 1 is for free. No, it's not for free. If it's always part of the game I buy, it's just part of the game. So they even pulled that on people and it didn't even work.
Yeah.
So I don't, and they have pre-release announced already, like Ken and Chun-Li, like crossover with one of the most successful fighting games right now, and even that didn't help. I would really hate to see I would really, and they even had all the competitive players on their side saying, this is a really, really good fighting game. This is an excellent designed fighting game in the mechanics department. And even that didn't help. Like, I would hate to see that. I would really hate to see that, because 3D fighting games need that shit. We need that. We need rivalry.
You know, the irony is, going back to thinking to what T4 said a while ago, I would love to see them sponsor the fuck out of RIP. And I mean, if you could get Eris, but fuck that, Eris, you can't pay Eris. You can't buy Eris. But like, sponsor the fuck out of RIP. Get a lot of like the Tekken OGs, the voices that people respond to. Oh shit, buff guy rating. What up, buff guy? The people really respond to. I would fucking kill for that. I think there's stuff you could do to really get people on board. But whether or not they'll do it is a different question. As a new FG player, Tekken 8 grabbed me for those reasons. There you go. There you go. Yeah.
I'm already on board. Like, they got me, but I'm afraid that because I'm a fighting. Right now, like, I'm a fighting game player. Like, I'm in the niche. I'm in the club. Like, I'm here. But how do you get my brother to buy this game? And spoiler, my brother bought Tekken 8. And my brother is a guy who, like, he just hammers Battlefield and shit like that, right?
But
he bought Tekken 8.
Looked cool.
How do you get my brother?
It looked cool, and it looked like, the thing is, if you can sell a product that looks like I'm gonna get 20 hours of fun out of it, and it looks kind of cool, I probably will pick it up. Right? Like,
yeah.
Competitive integrity be damned. If you're talking about sales, competitive integrity is a nice to have. It's not essential, clearly, right? But like, if you want to, so even if you want to have both, if you want to have a great fighting game that has a long life, you got to think about, okay, but how do we make this a fun experience for casuals who will never play a match online? I think people need to think in those terms. But yeah, we'll get there. Anyway, I'm leaving you. I'm leaving. I'm not sure if C4 is still here. It's been a while.
Yeah,
but yeah, you're still here. All right. I'm heading out. Thank you guys for entertaining me. As I said that before, it's been 3 hours. Jesus Christ. I'll be streaming again tomorrow. I'll be playing some tomorrow I'll be playing Virtua Fighter, not just talking about Virtua Fighter and fucking fighting games, I promise. But yeah, thank you everyone, and until next time, peace.